cancel culture is about canceling.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
Systematic bullying that's happening.
And they believe that they
Woke.
But it's the wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got me in a cell cause my records ain't sell. Cause a brother like me said, well,
it's one like this, immaculate conception. Not transform like this, perform like this, which yells you a new weapon. I don't contemplate, I meditate, then off your head. This that puts against the bed. This that I got realness, I just push, cause it's in my DNA. I got millions, I got riches building in my DNA. I got gunk, I got evil that rot inside my DNA. I got off, I got trouble, some heart inside my DNA.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stopped Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stopped Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
We'll see who cancels who.
They want you to comply.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Very
How
good.
are you?
Pretty good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Welcome to the show, Jeff Waldorf, folks. You probably know him. He's the logical leftist.
Hey.
If you hate him, then he's the illogical leftist, just as I am the
get that
humanist.
all the time now.
If you hate
And I'm
like,
the
really?
irrational national.
You're not logical. And then I get two different things, actually. You're either not logical or you're not a leftist.
You're
like,
I think everyone gets that at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, happy to have you here. Have you back, actually, because you were on before. Not for a proper episode. You jumped on at some point during the Lance Tim Poll stream, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice
I
to have you
am
back.
really happy to be here. So thank you guys for extending me a proper invite.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah. Welcome back to Ariana as well. Completed her move.
Yes,
How's that been?
It's been good, actually. I just want to say something. I met a leftist mafia, or what are we calling our viewers?
Leftist Mafia-ers.
I feel like we could
Moffers. Leftist moffers.
Moffs. Moffs.
Sure. Okay. We'll suss it out.
We'll workshop that.
You met one of the mobsters. Oh,
Yes,
right?
Yeah, sure, mobster, that works.
Yeah.
No, I met a mobster on the subway, and
Really?
I don't want to say the gender or the name, because they wanted anonymity. But
Okay.
I was standing in the subway, and someone gives me their phone, and it's like, "Hey, I think you're on the leftist mafia. Am I right, or am I being crazy?" And I was like, "No, like I am. Nice to meet
No
you."
kidding.
So they exist. They're real. They're not false.
That's cool.
It would
That
have
is super
been
cool.
really funny if they asked you that. I think you're on. Are you? You don't happen to be on the left, and you're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
No,
Yeah,
I forgot.
You know what?
Just give him a really weird look. Though, what? Like,
I'm playing
excuse
dumb
me,
if any of
sir?
you see me in public. I'm
That
straight up
sounds
playing
insane.
No, that
Yeah.
is interesting, though. Have any of you actually run into people who have recognized you out in the world?
I forgot to mention, actually, so I went to the Stavros' stand-up in Toronto like a few weeks ago. I got approached twice, which kind of surprised me. Like one guy was waiting in line outside, and this guy he's walking down. Like so there were two shows. I was at the latter one. He was walking out of the first one, and he was like, "David Doel," like just screaming my name. And I was like, "Wow, hi!" And he's like, "It's great to meet you. It must be weird meeting someone who you don't know but recognizes you." Anyways, the show is great. You'll love it. And then I think he was kind of drunk, but he was very, very jovial and very happy, nice guy. And then the other one, I was in the bathroom before the show, and then this guy's washing his hands. He must like he saw me in the mirror or something. He turns around. He's like, I recognize you, and I'm like, Rational National. He's like, yeah, that's right. And then I feel like he felt maybe kind of weird because we were like in the bathroom. He didn't know what else to say. And then he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't remember your name. I'm like, I don't. He felt bad that he didn't remember me, but I'm like, don't worry about it, buddy. It's okay. And then just went on our way. And then I saw a comment on a video after saying someone in a comment on a video said they recognized me, but they didn't want to say anything. So I got recognized 3 times.
Again, it would
which
really,
doesn't normally
really
happen.
funny. It would
It's
really
happened
funny
to me
if you
a
were
couple
like,
of
the
times.
Rational National, right? And they were like, no, not that. I don't know you from.
What is that? That sounds
happened
ridiculous.
To me. That's happened to me. I got recognized just like once or twice, but then I was recognized as David Doel one time. Like David Doel.
I got recognized as
Really?
Mike.
Are you serious?
And I got recognized
outside
as
of a
Mike
Jimmy
once.
Dore show. Yeah. Oh, you
That's
did.
hilarious.
That's right. We talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah, that's right.
The first time I was ever recognized, he's like,
That's
I recognized you. Humanist Report? I'm like, the other one.
That's reverse racism. I just want to call that out.
Isn't it? Thank you.
People all look the same.
What'd you say?
Reverse racism.
Yeah. Well,
No,
it's worse because we're Portuguese, so they're just saying that all Portuguese people look the same.
Apparently.
Hey, David, you're Portuguese too?
I'm half Portuguese.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I didn't know
I'm
that.
full Portuguese, or
He's full
85% Portuguese. Yeah, 85%. So, basically full. Yeah, and very adamant that my dad say we're also part German, 0.001% or some shit like that, but Portuguese German. But yeah, the one time that somebody recognized me and I thought it was for the show, it was after I got recognized for the show. I think I told you all this before. I walked into a weed shop and this dude was like, I recognize you. What are you from? And I'm like, do you listen to any podcasts? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, or like watch YouTube, like Humanist Report. He's like, no. And then he's like, oh, you used to work at Blockbuster. I'm like, yes, that is indeed the case. Yes.
Oh, that is great. That's funny.
Guilty
That
as
is good.
charged.
That's a good one.
It
I like that
It kind
one.
of hurt my ego a little bit because that was a long time ago at that point when I had stopped working at Blockbuster. So it's like, damn, either I was the best.
If only
at
you had
customer
stayed
service or the
there, maybe
worst.
you get recognized more often.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
You were
yeah.
totally. I bet you were totally like. The guy was like, "Oh, you look so familiar. I know you from somewhere." And you're probably like, "The Humanist Report. I know."
And you're like, no, you're the Blockbuster guy.
Get me a pen and paper. I'll sign the autograph. No, you're from Blockbuster.
God damn it.
I also got recognized eating out once. This is like a few years ago. Like this guy was like super kind. Like he had waited till
Why are you doing that in public?
He waited till I
David?
finished eating, and I was getting up to leave. I guess he was already done, and then he like came up and he's like, "This is during COVID, so like I had a mask on most of the night. Well, I mean, I was eating at one point, so obviously I wasn't. But we were out. There was like an outside patio, so I don't know. At some point, he recognized me, came up, and he was very kind. But yeah, I've only had thankfully good interactions. I've never had anyone weird, which is
Same.
what I always worry about. I actually really enjoyed COVID because I was like living downtown
Damn,
Toronto,
David.
and I did not. I don't want people talking to me generally. But if you do and you're nice, don't worry. I'm a nice guy. But I'm always worried.
I was at a Bernie event. Okay, so this was like 2019 or something like that, and I was there to actually cover it, and a couple people did recognize me. I was actually leaving, was on my way out. And guys like, I know you, I think. I'm like, oh God, what have I done? It's like, yeah, you're on that show. Yeah, well, yes, I am on that show. Which one? So he's like, well, it's, what was it, Round the Nation or something like that. And I was like, yeah.
Nice, he
that's
named
what I
it.
do.
He wasn't like,
yeah,
damage
really pleased,
report.
yeah. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then one of the other times, because actually I was recognized a couple times at that event, and then there was another event where people were like, hey, why don't you sign my t-shirt? And I was like, okay, sure. I need a marker. Give me a Sharpie, and I will sign the t-shirt. And I did. And then another weird time, and this actually is probably the strangest, but super nice. Had a pizza delivered from Pizza Hut, right? And the delivery person's like, I know you. I watch your show. I was like, you know where I live.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
I feel like I don't want anyone coming to my
Just
house
give
and
me,
be like, I know where you
just
live.
give me the pizza, you peon your way.
Oh, she was super nice about it though. So that was nice.
That
So
did happen
it
to
is-
me before too, with a package that was being delivered. Somebody was like, Humanist Report. I'm like, yeah.
Oh no. They know.
Oh, thankfully, he was really nice also. Like David, like I've never had any bad interactions with people who recognize me. Although one was the weirdest ever. I had like just started doing a show. It was like 2016, 2017. So it was really early. And somebody somehow got my phone number. And
Really?
they called my phone after finding my phone number. And it was the weirdest shit ever.
That is weird.
They called me while I was shitting.
That's even weirder.
And I was waiting for a phone call, which is the only reason why I answered it. So it's like, hey, is this Mike? And I'm like, yeah. Like, are you from the Humanist Report? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, hey, I just want to call and let you know I'm a big fan. I'm like, oh, thank you. How did you get this number? Because this is a private phone number. I was like oscillating between like, okay, do I be a complete dickhead and be like, I'm literally shitting, asshole. What the fuck are you calling me for? Or am I just like, hi, just in case it's like a serial killer? I want the nice one.
I mean, to be fair to the guy, how's he supposed to know you're taking a dump?
Well,
don't call somebody's phone.
I agree
don't
with
call
that
the
part,
number.
yes.
That's the easy way.
No, it'd be even
we
weirder
were-
if
we
he
were-
was like, oh, trust me, I know. I'm across the road
Yeah, I'm
right
watching
now.
you right now.
Oh shit.
All right. Well, we were moving. We the last time we moved, we were moving into our new apartment building, and someone was walking by, and they were like, they recognized me, and they were from the Majority Report, and they were talking to me. And turns out he's been my neighbor since I moved here. He lives in the same
What?
building as me. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a cool dude. Just it was crazy to like be recognized by someone in the building you're moving to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trip.
Totally.
I know that my camera is super bright, you all. I tried adjusting it. It's just.
I don't
not
think anybody
helping.
cares or even notices, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Some people were asking. One person said I looked like an angelic angel. Thank you so much. Bless your heart. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Some days it's just very bright. So
The only thing that really matters with like this kind of stuff is like the audio. As long as the audio's good.
yeah. Which our audio is never good.
Yeah, I think it's good enough. I think it's pretty. It's not solid. I mean, it's not too bad.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
Oh, I see some people in my chat talking about an announcement I made earlier on the Majority Report today. So I might as well announce it here really quickly.
Yeah.
I am going to become a dad again. We will be having our third
Congratulations.
child.
I want to
that's
say congrats,
amazing.
but why?
Because
No, that literally, I'm
we-
like sitting here. I'm like, I don't know what to say.
we love kids. I love kids.
Oh my god.
Being a dad is the greatest thing on the planet.
It is great, but you're not like a double dad when you have two or three. You're not like a triple dad. One is enough. One makes you a dad.
Yeah, no. I
quite a
think
lot of work.
listen. I am not one of those people. I'm not an Elon Musk who thinks everyone should be having kids. In fact, people who don't want kids should absolutely not have kids because there's too many bad parents out there. And if you don't want kids, I assume you're going to be a bad parent.
But
if you want kids, you should definitely go ahead and have kids. If you don't want kids, you should definitely not have kids. I think you should do what you want.
I agree. At the same time, a lot of people that don't want kids are the people that probably would be better parents because they're aware enough to understand that they would have to do a lot of work. Whereas like a lot of people
that's true too.
that have kids probably shouldn't have children, but they do.
No,
So
that's true as well. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's a mix of both. You know, without a doubt. I think
I
you
say
make a great point.
if you can afford it, you should probably do it. If you can, because
I disagree with that. I think if you want a kid,
if you at the same time, like you can change, you might change your mind. Like obviously don't have a child if you don't want one, but but don't just like think, okay, I didn't want a kid when I was 21. Now I never want one. Maybe you will want one in 10 years. Like you don't know.
Right.
Just be open to the idea. But yeah, if you don't want a kid, don't. Obviously,
but also I would say don't get caught if you are someone who is with someone who you've been together for a while and you foresee spending your life with or whatever, and you both really want kids, and you're waiting for that magical moment where your finances all line up perfectly, I'm here to tell you, it will never happen. And then time will run out and you won't have kids. If you are in a good place in terms of relationship, support, and you want a kid, just do it. You'll work it out. And you know what? There are programs, there are things to help you, and you should absolutely fucking take advantage of them.
Yeah. I just think like smart people need to have more children because
yes,
I feel like there's a lot
that's
of
the thing we have to say. Smart people should have more kids,
or not even just smart, but like more. If you're an empathetic person and you and your partner are both empathetic people and you care about people and care about society, care about humanity, and you also want to have kids and you're waiting for the right time, just have kids. Like it's the world needs more good people.
You gotta outbreed the conservatives,
honestly,
folks.
Yeah.
At this point, though, I feel like empathetic people are smarter. Just period.
Yes.
Like to have empathy at this point, you're in like it used to not have to say that. Like there are people who probably were just empathetic and we're dumb. That's not the case anymore. Literally, if you feel empathy, I feel like your intellect is on a higher level. I don't care, book smart, street smart, it doesn't matter. You are intellectually smarter just for having empathy at this point because it's such a sadly waning trait in people, and it makes me sad to say that.
It's that EQ, the emotional quotient.
Yeah,
right.
I think emotional intelligence is more important than ever.
Yeah. You know, we have a lack of empathy in this society, and you know, we don't give a fuck about anybody else as this, you know, as a country, and that's how we get shitheads like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I think people who are smart and emotionally mature should have kids as well. But I'm more of a pro-natalist where I think that you should just have as many kids as possible. We have to sustain the human race, and let's burn this planet to the fucking ground. Have as much kids.
Also need to go to Mars.
Yeah.
Go to Mars.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, congrats though, Matt. That's really exciting.
I appreciate it. And
congratulations. That's exciting.
thank you. I appreciate it. Listen, if you have one kid, let me tell you, the second kid, it's like you can just add the kid. Like
that's
no
ridiculous. That's a
it's
ridiculous.
like
that is
getting
100%
cat,
true.
right?
The third kid, it changes everything because everything is made everything is set up for a family with a maximum of 4. Think about how many people fit in a car,
right?
How hotels when you go on vacation, things like that. Just a table, everything is made for 4 max. Once you add that 5th, then then all of a sudden, you're looking at cars. You need a minivan. You can't just have a regular car. Everything changes.
And at that point, you might as well add a 4th.
At that point, and then a 5th, and then
it
a 6th,
makes more sense. It's
7th.
evened out, and you know,
Right.
Yeah. That's cool.
Before
That's
you know it,
something
you have
to
a
look forward to.
compound and an army.
Yeah,
my mom. I'm one of 4. My mom had 4 kids.
Bender's trying to get a whole soccer team put together.
Yeah.
What's the number for that?
I need 11 plus subs, so I got to go.
There we go.
Probably a nice
That's when he'll
round
stop.
13 or 14. Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, time's wasted, man. You gotta get busy.
Yeah, I don't think it's too late to get that many. Yeah, I think I'm out of luck there.
Never say never.
But I appreciate it, everybody. I told people basically because if depending on when the birth happens, some of you might have never even known, or there might be a week where I'm out and you don't see me on the Majority Report or here or doing my own thing. It totally depends the timing. Like, if baby's born on a Monday, you'll probably not even know about it. Baby's born on a Wednesday or Thursday, then you'll know about it because I won't be here.
I have a feeling you may begin to feel when it gets late, and you may all of a sudden start to feel tired around the same time that normal people like myself feel tired. You may have to go to bed at a normal time.
I was doing the Majority Report for many years, but I launched my own live stream around the time my daughter was born, and I was doing those late. So I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
My daughter was number 2.
I'm so sorry. Someone in the chat said the hot one always looks bored, and I don't know if you're talking about me, but I just want to say really quick, like, I can't relate to having kids. I've never wanted a kid. I don't think I will ever have a child. It's just, I just don't really have much to add.
You might change your mind.
Hold up. Can we just for a moment talk about the fact that Ariana saw someone in the chat say the hot one, and she automatically assumed it was her?
It's just that I don't speak a lot when I don't have anything valuable to add. So I'm assuming.
Excuse you, though. They could be talking about me. They could have been talking about Jeff. They could have been talking about David.
This person had a dog as their profile picture. I need you to stand up and say who the fuck you were talking about right now.
Tell us. 4 people's feelings are going to be hurt, so just rip off the Band-Aid right now.
Who we're talking about right now.
They could have been referencing the fact that Lance isn't here, so they're assuming he's bored.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Rebecca. They could be talking about Rebecca. Could be talking about Rebecca.
Okay.
Yeah, we should just.
I feel like it's one of us because we're on the stream.
It's probably you. It's probably you. But no, it's fine.
It doesn't even have to be me.
You might change your mind. You might be like, oh, you don't want kids now, but you never know. You never know.
I honestly, I don't think I've.
No, I gotta say,
motherly instinct. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would drop a kid on his head like by accident.
Well, maybe at your age, but I don't know. But like,
look, Ariana, I also do not have children and don't plan on it. So I mean, I have cats. So my wife and I have 3 cats, and we're good with that. You know, we're gonna stick with that because us together making a kid would be setting that kid up for a grab bag of mental illness, and we don't want to do that. We don't want that kid to go through that shit.
Yeah,
I will say that if I was American, I probably wouldn't have a kid just because it's so expensive. Like I don't know. Like child.
Oh yeah.
Hospital bills, child care.
Yep.
Like I'm not made of money.
It's very, very expensive.
Matt apparently is a multi-millionaire.
No, it's
working out fine for
Okay,
him.
my mod just confirmed that it was talking about me and Matt. It was actually in your chat, so I'm just saying.
All right. If you want to take
double offensive.
If you want to go on record and just
Oyenuga, thank you for causing chaos in this fucking.
If you want to come
Congratulations,
across as that type
Ariana.
of
I guess I'll
person-
go fuck myself.
Apparently, I am also hot. So reading some of the comments. So hell yeah.
No,
Wow.
but sorry, I didn't mean
Okay.
to-
Thanks, chat. So Jeff and Ariana are hot. I guess that the rest of us are just uggos.
No,
I guess we
let's
should just
be
die then.
clear. Everyone is hot to someone. Okay, I just was looking very tired, and I felt like they were talking about me. Okay, so that's.
Everyone is hot to someone, says Ariana. All right. All right. Well, I'll remember that.
Even
I'll remember
Donald
that.
Trump.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Oh
Yeah.
God, no, not him.
Checkmate.
So clearly.
I love him.
Stephen Miller. I rest my
sure?
case. I rest my case.
Benjamin
Yeah.
Netanyahu.
Was good
Ariana
enough.
Jasmine. Benjamin Netanyahu is hot. Ariana Jasmine. That's a quote from her, by the way.
To someone he is. I don't know if you like psychopaths. If that's your cup of tea. He's
Okay,
right up
here's-
your alley.
There is enough people in the world that you're gonna find some psycho that likes the other psycho. Yeah.
This
Yeah,
person
that's
says,
it.
yeah, Laura Loomer's into Trump. They do match each other's energy.
I think
to
it's
be
more
fair,
about
so-
power than like looks.
That's fair. That is
You
fair.
can have power and money and be the ugliest motherfucker on earth, and you'll still have people wanting you. So, you know.
She could just like his fupa or his front pussy. I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. I'm not going to kink shame. Maybe she likes his makeup regimen. I don't know. But there's somebody out there for everybody. Okay.
Yes, there's someone there for everybody. But you know what? I do relate to you. I think if I were to ever have anything that I would take care of that's like alive, it would be like a pet. Yo, I don't know, the idea of pushing a baby out, like
That sounds very traumatic.
It does.
See, that's
Yeah.
something that even the parents on this show can't attest to. So
Right.
I'll give that one up to you because I got to assume it's not very fun.
No,
Right.
no, does not seem fun.
the idea of pushing a baby out for a man, like,
well, why do you say it was for him and not for each
that's
other?
crazy. No, but it's just like, it's just the idea of, you know, the woman is always going to nurture, take care of the baby just because of, like, you know, you're kind of the one that grows them in your body and all that. And then the man can just dip, you know what I mean? So unless I have like assurances that that person is going to stay there until like that kid is at least 30, there's just no way.
At least 30. You're putting a number on it? No, but I mean, that's
considering the economy,
well,
probably, yeah.
It's got
30 in this economy?
At least 30.
People are literally moving. I know so many people that just moved back into their parents' house that are my age because they just can't afford it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's why when I told people if you want a kid, to have a kid, I added the addendum that if you have someone you are with and have a support system, then you should do it. I without a doubt agree with you that you should not try to go about this alone if you want. I know there are people who do, and they usually do that later in life when they're in a financial position to do that. And that, I would agree, you probably should be in a financial position to do this if you're doing it solo. But what I said before was strictly for like someone who has a partner as support and they are together and they both want this. Not something like, you should go solo with.
You having like family or grandparents, like whatever it is, like around you, I think is very important. Because that if it's just you, even if it's just you two, like it's a lot of work.
Takes a village.
Yeah. Preferably.
I mean, it really used to, like, and people, I mean, I don't have the experience as someone who's in my late 30s, but from what I understand, like, it actually used to be true, that saying. Whereas the whole neighborhood would know each other's kids, and because they were neighbors, and they would look out for each other, and, you know, and that seemed to be a system that worked really well.
That's probably how it should be.
Yeah, I don't know what
natural.
happened, other than the fact that people, I think also part of it is people became more selfish, more about themselves and the individual. I mean, you see this with just talking about like public health and things like that. People don't care about other people anymore. People don't care about other people's children anymore. People feel like they have no responsibility to the broader society that they live in. It's really sad. I mean, I feel that way, and I think there are people around that do still feel that way, but all it takes is a few people within that, you know, that neighborhood, that society to fuck it up for everybody else.
Yeah, it's that individualist mindset, which is promoted through capitalism, where everybody's kind of against each other, and we're not looking out for each other anymore. It's every man for himself. You got a little bit of social Darwinism in there, you know, like, oh, survival of the fittest kind of thing, or survival of the richest, and everybody's in competition with each other to fuck each other over and survive. And
can I just say something though? I feel like y'all men need to take credibility for how y'all have Peter Pan syndrome, especially men my age, because these dating apps have fried your guys' brains. And I'm not talking about the people on this stream because y'all have partners. I'm talking about you people in the chat. Y'all can't stay with more than 2 weeks. Like, it's crazy.
What's Peter Pan syndrome?
Okay. It's when you can't grow. You don't go on and grow up. You act like a kid perpetually, like you're a 40-year-old.
No. It's not. No. That's not what it is. Peter Pan syndrome is like you can't stay with one person. You get distracted really easily. Like you meet someone.
That's not Peter Pan syndrome. That's
it is.
That's part of it. That's part of it.
That's part of it, but that's not like you're jumping around. Like, you know, it's like, oh, this was a great date, but then now I have another date scheduled, and then I have another date scheduled. This person's hotter. Like,
I don't know how it.
Peter Pan syndrome.
This is from Wikipedia. I don't know how people can do that personally.
This is from Wikipedia.
It seems like a lot of work.
Peter Pan syndrome is a psychology term used to describe an adult who is socially immature. It refers to never growing adults who have reached an adult age but cannot face their adult sensations and responsibilities. The term is a metaphor based on the concept of not growing up and being trapped in childhood. I mean, what you said is a part of it, but the broader like thing is like it's like men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond who just refuse to take responsibility and act like they're children, aka like if you're a 40-year-old man spending your days whining about like a fucking children's movie on YouTube, you have Peter Pan syndrome.
You probably got bigger issues than Peter Pan syndrome.
Yeah.
But
But that's
Yeah.
part of it, Ariana. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just that it's broader than just that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I mean, this new list just came out about top worst cities to date. New York was number 1. And the reasoning was it's not because there aren't singles that are attracted to each other, because there are a lot of singles who are attracted to each other, but everyone has Peter Pan syndrome where like they just move on. Like, you know,
There's too much choice, I guess, is what you're saying.
Exactly. There's a lot of options.
People can't really commit because it's like, well, she seems nice, but this other one also, and this other one also seems nice. It's just like,
yeah.
It's like ADHD.
That's why the kids
women.
are all polyamorous these days. You see,
that seems
I've
like
said
the way
this before.
to go.
I
Why
think the
limit yourself?
major problem with young men, specifically today, is that they don't have any confidence because they haven't found out who they actually are. And you know, I've seen this myself when I was younger. Like, if you just like find out, like truly discover who you are, you will automatically become attractive to people because you will act different. You will act more mature without like losing like your cool factor, whatever it is. You'll just be yourself. And that's what most people want. Like, I'm not even talking about just like relationships, like with like women or whatever. I'm talking about just in general, women being part of it. If like once you figure that out, you will be fine. Like, you don't need to follow Andrew Tate or anyone, honestly. You don't need to be like anybody else. You don't need to follow anyone else's guidelines.
In fact, please
That's a
don't be
beta
like
thing.
somebody else. Like, you should just be yourself.
Right. You
Find
just need
who
to
you are.
You have to just be who you are. Whatever you like, that's what you like. Whatever, however you like to dress, that's what you like to dress like. Whatever, you know, subculture or scene or hobby or whatever it is you're into, that's who you are. And like, people will be attracted to someone, both like in a friendly way, like want to be friends with you and hang out, and in a romantic way. Once you figure that out and accept it, and you'll just be confident naturally. You won't have to take any fucking tests. You won't have to read any fucking self-help books. You will have it figured it out once you figure out who you are and accept it.
I think the hard part is though how do you go about doing that? Like, I feel like I'm still learning at my age, like things about me that I wasn't really sure. Like, I mean, you know, I'm always learning, right? So I think it takes time. It takes a process. I think it takes experience, like just trying different things, and especially when you're younger, like, you know, just going through opportunities that may be given to you and just seeing what you may enjoy. Because a lot of people they kind of get stuck in their own world, and understandably, like I had serious social anxiety for a long time when I was younger, and I still have a bit of it, but like it prevented me from really doing anything and like trying things, and it was very debilitating. So, but if you put yourself out there and you try things, then you begin to figure out, like, get a better idea of what you enjoy, who you are, the kind of scene you want to be a part of, and that leads to, you know, more confidence.
Right. No, it's absolutely. I mean, I remember when it all changed for me back when I was like in like junior high school, and like I discovered punk rock music, and it completely, like, that's who I was, that's who I still am, and that's like I figured it out then, and immediately that's when like I started making friends, and not just with other like punk kids. I started making friends with everybody. You know, I started having lots of, you know, I started getting girlfriends without like stressing about it. It was super easy once you figured that out. And yes, I guess I got lucky figuring that out at an early age, but like, just keep going with whatever you like and you'll figure it out. You don't gotta be some like asshole jerk, like, to just fucking like be a cool, fucking cool person thinking you're gonna like attract people that way.
Yeah, people can smell bullshit, and if you're like being a poser or fake, people can probably see through it. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. COVID made a lot of things worse too, because we're so much more isolated. Like, even myself, like I rarely talk to family that I used to talk to all the time, and friends. It's just more difficult generally to maintain friendships at this point as well, let alone relationships that like if you're trying to date. So like in general, our culture is kind of gotten fucked by COVID. That's part of it too, aside from like socioeconomic factors and political factors, because you have this split between Gen Z men and women. So there's a lot that goes into it. But, you know, personal issues are often a huge inhibitor just because, like, you know, if you don't have the confidence, then, or you're like waiting until, well, I've got to do this first. I've got to get my degree first. I've got to lose X amount of pounds. Like, there's never going to be a perfect, you know, opportunity for you to be your perfect self. You're always evolving. So like, that's what people need to keep in mind.
And also, like, I don't know, go to therapy and like talk, like that also helps maybe get a better understanding of why you can't figure out who you are, or like we are, in terms of like our environments, we take on so many anxieties and just these experiences that affect us that in a way that we don't even realize are affecting us and preventing us from being who we are, or, you know, doing whatever it is that we should be doing. That if you're not clued into what is impacting you in that way, then you may be stuck in this perpetual cycle where you feel stuck in life, you feel like you're in a rut and you can't get out of it. And a lot of it is just put upon yourself. Now, obviously there's external issues with, like, you know, people aren't paid enough. So that there's problems where it's hard to exist in society, even if you are in a situation where you're not under another layer of, like, you know, anxieties or mental pressure. But at the very least, like, it's important to be able to talk to people, you know, a therapist if you can, and just get a better understanding of who you are and maybe what you've been dealing with.
Yeah, but David, we live in America and we can't afford therapy. So we're all fucked.
That's true.
Even if it's not like an actual therapist, I don't talk to. You got to find people to talk to.
Listen,
Friends,
somebody who took
family,
Psych 101, they're qualified
feel
enough.
open.
For only $50 a month, you could join Hustle University and share your feelings with Andrew.
Yes.
Maybe I'll add a Patreon tier. You can come talk to me.
There you go.
This reminded me. One of the funniest things I read this week on Twitter was, you know, the Dilbert guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he came out. This isn't the funny part.
I was going to say, what's just the funny part, Matt?
He came out and shared that he has a cancer, and he thinks, according to his doctors, only has till the summer to live. And there's this. Hold on, let me bring it up on the. If I could figure this out, hold on. Let me see. How do I share my screen again? Present, right? Press the present thing. Let's see. Screen. Hold on. Is this it? Yes, this is it. Okay.
I can add the stage.
So, how do I zoom in? Why is it so small?
That may be on your end. I don't know. I can read it.
I wonder if you can full screen it.
Let me try that. Did that work? Did I do anything?
Yeah, it's a little bigger.
Yeah.
All right. So someone tweeted about it. His video about he's sick, and someone said, realistically though, who on earth is this hitting hard? I'd say 0 people outside his friends and family. And then this other guy replied, Chris replies, he is loved by many as a father figure. It surprised me too. And then the original replier says, I have to admit that kind of shocks me. To which Chris replies again, lots of young men lacked father figures, and Adams had the desire to help them, as long as they paid to join his locals. That was so fucking funny when I read it. I was like on the floor. Good. That like little like, listen, the Dilbert guy cared a lot about helping young men, as long as they joined his little, so they paid to join his little thing. Oh my God, I was cracking up.
Wow.
So fucking funny. I mean, that's the truth with a lot of these guys, though. They care so much as long as you pay them.
Right.
And honestly, they don't care even after you pay them. They just pretend to care, to be quite frank. Because if they cared, you wouldn't have to pay them for that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and their advice wouldn't be garbage.
Yeah, that too. I think that's the more important part, right? They wouldn't be giving you shit advice that's actually going to make your life worse. Because understand that's what people like Andrew Tate, they give you advice that is going to just blow up your life. Okay. But as long as you give them money, they're fine with it, because hey, if this guy sabotages his life by using my shit advice and ends up, alone for the rest of his life because he scared off all the women, that works out for me because I still get your money. That's all a scam.
I mean, listen, I get that like time is money, obviously, because you can't be volunteering all your time away. But I'm sure his community wasn't like $5 or something like that. I'm sure he, like I said, Andrew Tate's Hustle University, whatever, is fucking $50 a month.
Yeah, and it's
like
hustling
what
you.
the fuck? These are like young people. Young people. Like I was reading people as young as like 12, 13 join that shit.
Mom and dad's credit cards.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, but real university is a lot more expensive. So this is, it actually seems very affordable by comparison.
No student loans for Hustler University. So there you go.
It's less of a hustle than actual university, which is bizarre when you think about it.
Also, it's not that weird that he charges to be like a father figure to them, because people are charging for all kinds of things these days. Scott, if you want sympathy, $4.99 per month, you've got it from me, bud. So think about that.
There you go. We charge extra for thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
That's a surcharge.
That's actually the $9.99 tier to get thoughts and prayers. But if you pay me $4.99, then it's just like get well. It's some heart emojis. It's the hand doing the heart emojis.
Yep.
But there's
Scott, I looked it up. Scott Adams charges $7 a month. Okay, that's fair, but that tweet still cracked me up.
Yeah, it's funny.
I think $7 is fair, but it is funny that they were like, he really, really cares about helping young men as long as they pay him.
Have you ever seen his mansion? Like, he has the biggest fucking mansion you've ever seen in your life. And there's like, he's got a pool, and then there's like windows shaped like the Dilbert character. So he could use the extra $7 per person, I'm sure.
No, of course.
Oh my God.
To be fair though,
yeah,
cancer is expensive, and we do live in America, so he probably does need all that money now.
I don't know, man. Those Dilbert residuals. I mean, that shit's been in the syndicated in the newspaper for longer than I've been alive. I mean, he's definitely, and back when that shit was lucrative too. I bet in the in the 90s and shit. I bet that paid insane. I bet he could have ended Dilbert right there and never worked a day in his life. Honestly. Like he could have just taken it to the year 2000, and then the newspaper industry went under. Well, not under as in, but like they changed completely to the point where it wasn't as profitable it was. He could have ended that shit in the early 2000s and been set for life.
Yeah, people are asking, is this guy racist? Yes, he is.
Oh yeah,
explicitly racist. Yeah. So sad. I'm praying for him.
Once again, $9.99
hard.
Thoughts and prayers. Okay.
I'm doing one free prayer myself, but I'm not going to tell him what kind of a prayer it is.
Introductory offer, huh?
I'm not going to tell him what kind of a prayer it is, but I'm praying for something. Okay. And I'm not saying who I'm praying to.
It's kind of a grab bag. See, you get a lot of different things that you could pray to.
Might be the devil. Might be Jesus.
Could be.
Who knows?
Ganesh.
Who knows?
I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah.
You know, my thing is I never wish bad on anybody. But if a bad thing happens to them, it is what it is. Well, who am I to? I didn't wish it on you, but it is what it is. You know.
Yeah,
I'm both. I wish
I'm just
bad,
always
and
amazed.
if it happens.
I'm just always amazed how like people need to feel they have to comment on everything that happens. Like there are so many things that happen. I'm just like, I don't have an opinion. Don't need to have one. Or I don't need to share it. It's fine.
Right.
Right.
Who's got
I feel that about a lot of things, honestly. Like
that's like most things now.
A real that really big case with that those two teenagers in Texas or whatever, where one of them stabbed the other one at a track meet. You know, there's been a huge thing, and they raised money for the kid who got stabbed died, and there was a big fundraiser for the one who was being charged for his legal defense. I don't. That is not a national issue, and the fact that it was national was ridiculous, and it still is. Like, if there was something unfair that happened to the defendant, the one being charged in the legal system, then that would have been a national issue. But the second it happened, the actual confrontation between two teenagers in Texas became a national issue. I was like, nobody knows what the fuck happened. on either, whether you were whoever side you are, nobody knows what the fuck happened. Why is anybody talking about this? It was ridiculous to me. It was like the reason certain cases usually go national, like, you know, for example, with I don't know, with
police brutality,
like George Floyd, right?
Yeah,
that was
there's a pattern of behavior.
That was a cop involved, and on top of that, there was no ramification for that cop until people protested. There was going to be there wasn't any arrests made. There were no charges until people got involved.
And it's also part of a broader national discussion about police brutality. Like it feeds into that discussion as well.
But when we're talking about two private citizens going at it, that should not be a national issue. It should just not be until the legal system gets involved and makes it a national issue by, you know, something that broader in our laws or policies affects that. Until that happens, or if it doesn't, it might not even. These things should not be national issues. It is absolutely ridiculous.
This is what the right does. They feed off of like local news stories to like try and create narratives where they don't exist, because they never actually want to look at data or facts or like broader issues in society in terms of what the state may be doing. A lot of it's just like blowing up national story or local stories into national stories to try and push some kind of cultural narrative. That's like 90% of what right-wing media.
They raised almost $1 million for a woman who said the N-word to a child.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I just want to point out, this is something that a lot of right-wing pundits do, and I'm sure you guys already know, but when you watch someone like when Tucker Carlson used to be on Fox News, he would make a whole entire point based off of one singular case. He'd say, for example, right, an undocumented immigrant hit a American. This means that all undocumented immigrants and what is America becoming and da-da-da, but they don't look at the overarching statistics, because to your point, David, if they do, they would understand that their narrative is actually false. They're pinpointing, they're cherry picking stories that fit their narrative. And I think that's one of the huge issues with right-wing media and right-wing rhetoric, is that they don't actually do the research, and most of them are pretty uneducated. I mean, most people that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe more than 50% of the people who traditionally vote Republican don't have a like a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. Usually if you have gone to university, you tend to lean left, you tend to lean more Democrat. So we have a bunch of people who didn't go to university, college for whatever reason. It's okay, I'm not shaming y'all. I know it's expensive, but it's just like high school education in America, especially public schools, like you're walking out knowing nothing but basic reading, writing, and speaking skills. You know what I mean?
Sometimes not even that.
Yeah, sometimes not even that. Sometimes you don't even know how to read, right? And it's one of those things where it's like, when you have a population that's already uneducated, already ignorant when it comes to certain situations, and then you have someone like Tucker Carlson going on Fox News with vindication every night. Oh, this happened, that means that. Because technically what he's saying isn't false. Like the case that he's talking about is true. Mm-hmm. It's just that the overarching theme is not what he's fabricating. And that's the problem.
He did that with remember there's that trans, were they even trans? I forget if they're trans or not, but there was a teacher who dressed up like a woman with giant prosthetic breasts. This is in Canada.
Yeah. And they were trolling, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it ended up they were like just trolling. I forget the
like anti-trans trolling too.
Yeah, it was like a bizarre story, but he made it. He used that singular story to be like, look, all trans people are crazy. Like that was like, we're talking about, you couldn't even find one in America. Like this is like a Canadian teacher who is just a little not in the right mind. And using that as sort of like to extrapolate like a larger topic when there is no connection to any of it.
Oh, and during the election too. Yeah. They also used that story or that talking point like, oh, transgender inmates, murderers in prison are going to get free gender reassignment surgery paid for by taxpayers. And they hammered the fuck out of it and got people to think that, oh my God, this is happening, even though actually technically isn't. There is no actual examples of this happening, of a transgender person in prison getting and it's probably an immigrant as well, right?
Yeah, not a
They have
single
to add that in
example
there.
of that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No
not a
examples
single
of that.
example.
None
It's
at
just
all.
the possibility. That's what they do. They like David said, they extrapolate, and like you're all very correct about this. Yeah, they take something, sensationalize it, and they use it to justify the policy that they want to enact. And we're seeing that today with the embassy shooting, the Israel embassy shooting, where they're now using this as a justification.
For this
Yeah,
part.
to do so much. I actually have it pulled up and ready. So the head of the ADL is blaming Hasan Piker for this. Literally, like he name drops Hasan Piker, and there's so much more with regard to like this story and how this like I'm worried that this is like a Reichstag fire moment. But like I'll just press play.
But all of us need to call it out. I'm thinking about the New York Times doing a gauzy profile a few weeks ago of this gamer, Hasan Piker, who regularly employs awful genocidal rhetoric against Jewish people in the Jewish state. Like extremists.
Like this is the Anti-Defamation League head defaming Hasan Piker right here. Like that's straight up defamation.
Yep.
I said this on the Majority Report earlier today, and I'm going to say it here. I think this hits the mark for a lawsuit from Hasan.
Yeah.
I think this, without a doubt, because listen, if he called what Hasan says, if he said Hasan partakes in, anti-Semitic language, that would have been different. I disagree with it, but there's a broad list of things that you can say, oh, I feel that this is anti-Semitic. I would disagree with you, but that doesn't hit the mark. We've spent the past 2 years talking about, and from their side, from the ADL's position, from Jonathan, what's his name again? Greenblatt's position, that there is a clear-cut definition of what genocide is. They've argued that constantly to say what Israel is doing is not genocide. So you can't just say that someone is partaking in genocidal rhetoric. That means something. That's not in the eye of the beholder like anti-Semitism you could argue is. There is a clear defined definition. And by saying it, you are saying that Hasan is directly calling for the ethnic cleansing, for the mass slaughter of Jewish people. I think that's slander. I think Hasan should, without a doubt, be talking to lawyers and whoever, legal counsel, about taking legal action here against Greenblatt and the ADL.
And CNN, make them issue a retraction. That is defamation. Like, this is something that could ruin his career. He was already detained by BPD when he came back into the country because of his politics, because he is anti-Trump. So this could put another target on his back. It's arguably incitement of hatred against Hasan. I agree. I think that this needs to be like a legal issue, because the way that they are just like flippantly accusing people of being genocide when they're the ones doing the cover for genocide is infuriating to me. It'd be like, so like you have people who are pro-Zionist on YouTube, people like Ben Shapiro, for example, and then you have stories like this. I'm going to share. This is from Glenn Greenwald, who made a great point. And I don't agree with Glenn on everything, but like this point needs to be said. Which group of people is to be held responsible for these recent violent attacks below? Jewish man mistakes 2 Israelis for Palestinians and opens fire. There's one man who stabbed a Palestinian boy to death. And Glenn says, since we learned today that it's not just the individual murderer to blame, but anyone who supports the cause he claims to have supported, which ideas and groups of people have caused these murders. I mean, that's exactly it. If Hasan is responsible here, according to this guy, for these murders, then I guess that since he defended Israel, is he responsible for those anti-Palestinian hate crimes? For the anti-Arab bigotry that we're seeing? Like, the double standard here is so unreal.
And like, not to mention, like, Hasan's criticism comes from a criticism of what Israel is doing. So ultimately, all of this is the fault of what Israel is doing. If you want to make those connections, this comes down to what is the central issue. The central issue is the genocide that is going on. And that is what is driving the anger. That's what's driving the reaction. So that's the heart of this entire issue. when it comes to any sorts of random acts of violence on both sides. Like, the heart of the issue is the genocide that is going on, and the U.S. continuing to support it, and other countries continuing to run to the defense of Israel in various ways while this is ongoing, while there is an ICC arrest warrant for Netanyahu. Like, I don't know how many. I did a video this week on Canadian media. There was a Canadian press story, and Canadian press is sort of like it's copied and pasted basically to a lot of different outlets when they release a story. But this is a news report discussing that Netanyahu called there was a group letter put out by Canada, France, and the UK basically condemning what Israel, the recent ongoing assault of Gaza. And so they called that out. Netanyahu came out and said that they're helping Hamas. And that's put in the headline. Not Netanyahu claims that Canada, France, and the UK are helping Hamas. That's not an editorial. That's a news item. And in that news item, nowhere does it state that Netanyahu's under an arrest warrant. Nowhere does it state that he has denied a ceasefire again and again and again. All these facts are, like, the way all of these stories are framed is always from the perspective of giving Israel the benefit of the doubt as they're committing these ongoing mass murder campaigns. Like, how it's so frustrating to see what's been going on and how clear it has continued to, like, there's no denying the reality now. You've had enough time to figure out what's been going on. If you work in news, you should know what's happening. And to not include obvious basic facts about the person that you were writing the article about his arrest warrant that he has, about the obvious actions that the state of Israel has committed, like, to not include these basic facts in an article, it's just, you're just lying to people and covering it up as news. Like, it's one thing if it's an op-ed, it would still be an issue if it's, an opinion piece saying Netanyahu is right to claim these things. But it's another thing when that is the headline and the report misses all these facts. You are just blatantly putting out misinformation, and this is how this entire conflict has been framed, always giving the benefit of the doubt to Netanyahu and Israel, and it's so frustrating because it's ongoing.
I do want to say, though, although I do 100% agree with you guys, like, they need to be legally held responsible, and I'm not a lawyer, so don't quote me on this, but from my understanding, in order to sue someone or an entity for defamation, you have to clearly prove that there were damages.
Right. I mean, I would say going on CNN and saying this.
No, I know, but it can't just, like, you have to really have documentation that this damaged me and my business, and this is why I'm suing them. And I think that would be a very hard, like, defamation period is very hard. It's very hard, which is why Israel gets away with so much of their propaganda, because these kinds of cases are so hard to prove, and they're so hard to take on, and there's so many different points you have to prove and hit in order to prove that it was actually, like, really defamation. We all know it's defamation, but that's also another thing that Israel is using to shield themselves, especially when they do this kind of propaganda, is because they know they can get away with it. The ADL knows they can get away with this. This isn't the first stupid thing they've said. I mean, when Hitler did the Hail salute, the ADL was like, oh, it's just, when
Elon.
You said Hitler.
Right. That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with how
That's a
you
great
worded
point.
it, but to make sure we don't get
sorry, I'm getting all my fascists mixed up. But when Elon did the
I knew exactly who you meant as soon as you said Hitler too, by the way. When he did this, I'm like,
yeah, me too.
it didn't even register in my mind. I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Exactly. You already know, but it's just the ADL has been saying stupid shit back to back. Like, they've been saying stupid shit. And it's one of those things, it's like Canary Mission, right? It's a website that works like a Wikipedia page for people who are pro-Palestine activists, and it completely just paints you as some sort of a freaking insane, Islamist, I don't know, terror, whatever you want to call it. And there's not much you can do because they can get away with it. It sucks, but it's
another element that's so scary is, like, what's going to come of this, right?
Yeah.
And on that note, I want to I have a clip that Blakely had shared, shout out to them, of a message that Trump gave to this individual about the embassy shooting.
People of the United States of America are resilient people. Together we won't be afraid. Together we'll stand, and we're going to overcome moral depravity of people who think that they're going to achieve political gains through murder. On the way in, Ms. Bondi was kind enough to hand me the phone. On the other line was the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who told me that his administration is going to do everything it can possibly do to fight and end anti-Semitism and the hatred that's being directed, the demonization and delegitimization of the state of Israel.
Okay, notice how he did that switcheroo? He talks about anti-Semitism and then just segues flawlessly into the state of Israel. Anti-Semitism and criticism of Israel, that is not the same thing. And the fact that they keep conflating, anti-Semitism with anti-Zionism is genuinely one of the most dangerous things ever. But they keep doing it because they don't care. They genuinely don't care. And I want to show you, so there's this clip, there's Netanyahu, who, let me make sure you all can see this here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, okay, you can see it. So he said this.
Free Palestine is just today's version of Heil Hitler.
Okay, he said that. Now, Dana Bash of CNN, guess what she said? Can you see this? Let me make sure I'm sharing. Dana Bash suggests that Free Palestine is a call for violence against Jews.
You just heard the alleged killer saying Free Palestine. We hear that on the streets. We hear that on college campuses. And there are a lot of people who have been worried that that has been turned into a call to arms and a call to action. And
because one deranged person carried out a murder. This is what a news anchor is now suggesting.
Violence. Yes. Others claim that it's not. What do you think now that we have seen this?
I think there's no question, whatever its initial intent and whatever people were saying initially or meant it has become a call for violence, and not violence against Israelis, which is wrong, but violence against Jews. And anybody who tries to separate the two and try to say
Dana Bash is not qualified to be a news anchor. She's not qualified to be there.
By the way,
at all.
this woman was a major figure in the Biden administration.
Shocker.
I forgot her name. Yeah.
Shocking.
They just said it. It was go back. Deborah Lipstadt.
Yeah.
Like, an actual news anchor would go to the root of what is happening here. Why are people saying that?
Yeah.
Does it have something to do with an ongoing genocide?
Well,
does it have anything to do with an ongoing occupation?
Right.
Like it just.
They're just going to use this as a justification to further criminalize any advocacy for Palestinians and against the genocide.
This is why I remember Deborah Lipstad's name. So she was a figure in the Biden administration, but she also did an interview with the New Yorker with Isaac Chotiner, who gets these amazing, he's the guy who does those amazing interviews where he gets people to he walks people with basic questions into saying what they truly believe, which is usually insane. This woman, again, a member of the Biden administration, admitted that she supported Donald Trump's deportation of students because of them being pro-Palestinian. She came out in support of it. She said she didn't support how he did it. She wishes he did it a bit more undercover so it wasn't getting so much attention, but she supported the action of deporting the students for pro-Palestinian beliefs.
Or for just exercising free speech, which is supposed to be legal in this country. I thought we had this whole First Amendment thing where we were able to actually have freedom of, to be able to express our ideas and express that, hey, maybe we don't like a genocide, maybe we don't want to be a part of it. Maybe we don't want to fund it. Okay. Because we're doing all those things, by the way. And so, we're supposed to be able to go out and actually say that and demonstrate and do it peacefully. And we've been doing that. And who was, is not the peaceful ones? The Zionists. that have attacked students at these protests. And now we have a pro-Zionist government that, by the way, is filled with anti-Semitic people, honestly, because you drill down in every right-wing conspiracy theory, it goes down to the Jews, right? So they are deeply anti-Semitic, but they're very pro-Israel, which I always think is really funny, but I think has to do a lot with that end times bullshit prophecy stuff, right? Where Israel has to be, all the Jews have to go to Israel before they're all murdered if they don't, convert to Christianity. Okay. It's a very bizarre worldview, but we have an administration that is making policy based on that worldview. And by the way, I say this administration, but the last administration also was not very good on this issue. It was shitty on this issue. And we also funded a genocide under Biden. And so, we have it feels like our country's kind of trapped in this entire thing where we must support the country of Israel and their incredibly right-wing government, or else, we're anti-Semitic.
Yeah, and what's happening is, I think, the reason why we're seeing this extra push to crack down and criminalize pro-Palestinian protests is because for the first time ever, the American people's opinion has completely flipped. Now they're more sympathetic towards Palestinians because this has been going on now for 17, 18 months, and they know it's a genocide. And on top of that, for people like Deborah here to say that, saying free Palestine is an incitement of violence against Jewish people. Well, Donald Trump is cracking down on universities and doing censorship explicitly in the name of fighting anti-Semitism. But poll after poll, let me give one example, shows that Jewish Americans do not approve of his so-called effort to fight anti-Semitism. They don't like this. They don't want this being done in their name. So the fact that they keep conflating Zionism and criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism is insane. There's probably more fucking, I don't know if this has been quantified, there's probably more Christian Zionists than there are Jewish Zionists. But if you criticize Zionism, if you criticize Zionism, go ahead.
Off of what you're saying, the man who worked at the embassy was reportedly Christian, just to your point.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah. When I was young, I was raised as a Zionist, didn't even know it. They teach you as a Christian that, Israel has to control all of Palestine because then Jesus will be able to come back. And basically, if you ask what happens to all of the Jewish people when Jesus comes back, they either have to convert or they'll go to hell. So convert or be killed.
Yep.
Zionism itself is, at least Christian Zionism, with my experience, is deeply anti-Semitic. And these are things that they teach you at a very young age, and you don't even realize how fucked up it is until you're older and look back like I did, where it's like, wait, that was really, really evil for them to say that. But it doesn't matter because there's this unholy alliance, and Christian Zionists are helping to facilitate the eradication of Palestinians right now. So Israel, Netanyahu, all of these people are more than happy to team up with these people. That's why Pastor John Hagee spoke at the pro-genocide rally in D.C., where Hakeem Jeffries was there also with Mike Johnson and Chuck Schumer. That guy has said explicitly anti-Semitic things, but he was there, welcomed with open arms because he supports Israel. It's so disgusting.
And it's all in an effort to bring about the end times so that Jesus can hoover all the good Christians up into heaven with the giant vacuum cleaner or something. It's bizarre. It's weirdo Christo-fascism that has been, married with this Zionism from this super right-wing Israeli government. And so, it feels like an unholy alliance.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think obviously what happened is not condoning it. I don't have a lot to say about that part of it, but I think it's very interesting because a lot of people came out and they were immediately saying that this is anti-Semitism when one of the people was not even Jewish, he was Christian. So to your point, but also, there was a 7-year-old boy that got stabbed in his house. There were 2 Palestinian people who got shot at in Florida, and they barely survived. I don't know how they were able to survive that. There was a Yemeni girl who got her throat slashed at a playground. There were 2 Afghan girls who got jumped and beat up in school by 20 different people. There are cases of Muslim hate that I cover a lot on Instagram and my other platforms continuously. There was just literally 2 weeks ago in Brooklyn, Crown Heights, there was one girl who, I don't know if she was a part of the protest or if she was just kind of leaving her house and she just ended up being in the street. But Ben Gvir came to New York to speak, and there was a mob of people. They were obviously Zionists. They were speaking in Hebrew, and they were saying things like wasted semen, all these heinous things like you should have been aborted in Hebrew. And they're chasing this girl down the street. Did you guys see this video? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
You don't know
I
what
haven't
I'm
seen
talking
this.
about?
I don't
No,
think
I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
this.
that.
No.
It's horrific.
Okay, you know
Sounds
what?
horrific.
We need to watch it.
Yeah, if
for
you
to
have it, I'd like to
understand
see
what I'm
this.
talking about, because if you don't watch it, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's just very interesting to me that cases like this are, everyone's talking, because we all know on this stream that this is going to become a problem. It's going to be a Riley situation where they're going to pass a bill that's going to either censor us or make it criminal or illegal. We already know how this is going to go, and it didn't help anyone. To be honest with you, it really didn't help anyone. I have a lot of thoughts on that part of it too, but I don't know what I was thinking. But
we know how the media operates, right? Like that's like
right.
we saw this reaction coming because there, as you discussed, there's just thousands of examples of the others of the other side of this, and that is never focused on in a way that this is focused on, let alone the actual issue, which is the actual genocide that is going on, the actual occupation that is going on, that is the heart of this issue.
Yeah.
That again, like didn't Israel just yesterday or probably today, it came out that they killed another like 300 people. Like it's every single day. Like it's the
They
reaction
also shot
to
at
this.
25 diplomats just the other day.
Yeah, actually, that was yesterday. Yeah,
yeah.
The reaction to this shows you that certain lives are undervalued compared to others. That's the reality of it, and how this stuff is covered. It's the way this is blown up while ignoring the actual context of what is happening. This is why I am tired of news. I'm tired of it's just I feel like I like a video for me now is like here is just basic reality that we all should already acknowledge and understand. Like that's like, why are we even having to argue with the obvious things that are happening? This is not intellectually stimulating for me. This is so like it's just basic shit that we should all already understand. To have to go back and feel like to have to go back to like caveman times and explain, hey, mass death is bad, genocide is wrong. Like, why do we have to be in this position?
Yeah, there's no empathy whatsoever for Palestinians, even down to like the articles. I think it was maybe it was like in early 2023 where The Intercept did the analysis of all the headlines, and when they were describing any deaths of Israelis, it was always very emotive words like slaughter, carnage. But when they described Palestinians, it was like Palestinians dead, as if there was like some natural disaster that happened and they weren't deliberately killed.
It's so clear and deliberate, the way they construe the two different stories. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Okay, this is the video. It says graphic content, so just be warned, everybody. I have not seen this myself, but I have a feeling it's going to piss us all off.
I went outside to see what was going on. I saw that there had been a protest that was over, but there were still hundreds of Orthodox Jewish men, mostly men, in the streets and the sidewalks, and there were a few neighbors, including myself, standing on the sidewalk just observing. When people began filming near me, I pulled my scarf up over my face because I didn't want to be on camera. And as soon as I did this, a Jewish woman began screaming at me, and just a group of like 100 men came over immediately and encircled me. They threatened to rape me. They were hurling just vile insults at me. I moved closer to the police than I already was, and they did nothing to intervene. I tried to leave, and a single officer attempted to escort me home, but this mob followed us. They grew in number. They were screaming at me, "Go back to Palestine." They were shouting "Death to Arabs." They kicked me in the back multiple times. They spat on me. They threw objects at my head. They threw a trash can and a traffic cone at me. And I was just terrified. There's nothing more I can say except that I felt just sheer terror.
All right.
Holy shit.
If imagine the roles were reversed. The fact that most of us here on this panel didn't hear about this story is because it was this situation. If the roles were reversed, this would have been international news. We all would have been talking. We all would have been very aware of this. It'd be on CNN. It would be on every single network, every day in, day out.
Passed in Congress.
They'd be having bills passed about this, but it's not the reverse situation. It's this situation, and didn't even hear about it.
Yeah,
I honestly can't believe you guys didn't know about this. This happened in Brooklyn.
No.
Yeah.
I after I saw the video, I recall seeing like the story, but I didn't see the video. Like I was aware of the story, but I had not seen the video. I mean, it's insane. It's insanity. It's crazy. I mean, every single which one of you brought up I didn't even think of this, that the same day that this embassy shooting happened in Washington, D.C., it was literally the same day that earlier in that day, the IDF literally shot at foreign embassy workers who were visiting the West Bank. I mean, I totally did not. That is astounding. And no one, I saw it was covered in like international news, but the U.S. media didn't touch it.
There were Canadian diplomats there, and there was like a very tepid response from our government being like, we are disturbed to hear about these reports. We are going to look into it. Like, it's again, just
the IDF Israel has killed American citizens, and the U.S. has not cared.
Yeah,
the U.S. has not cared.
And just
They've
FYI,
killed
if you search for the Israel shooting at diplomats, the news story comes up. You see one right here, warning shot. So there's two, but then you go more. There's one about the embassy. So
yeah, wild.
This has already supplanted the Israel shooting. Like, I understand because like these people were actually killed.
Well, it's more recent. It's more
nonetheless.
recent news too. I think it's hard to go by that. But like, there's no excuse for like the media organizations to not cover it.
I think sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, like, there's no excuse for the media organizations not to cover it. There's no excuse at all. There's no excuse for why it's okay for Israel to...
I'm not saying that that's a false flag at all. I'm just saying that the way that, like, the salience of particular stories gets raised by media and through algorithms, that's what I'm pointing to. I'm not saying it's a false flag. Don't put words in my mouth.
No, I would say... No, Mike wasn't saying a false flag. I was just pointing out that it's a little bit... I understand that you would, the story most recent would be up top in a Google search for a vague search query. But everything else we're talking about, I think, is absolutely, there is no argument against it.
To your point, I think the best example of what you're talking about is the Nusrat refugee massacre. That's when they killed over 200 people in order to get 4 hostages out. 200 people, there were moms, there were children. They murdered all of them in order to get that they designated as a safe zone to get 4 hostages out. But then when you Google the Nusrat refugee massacre, it says Nusrat refugee or the Nusrat rescue mission or something like that. And I think to your point, it's things like that, right? Because when you Google it, it'll show you Nusrat rescue mission, but it won't really highlight the fact that 200 people, civilians, died in that quote rescue mission that took out 4 hostages. And I think what you're saying, like, it does hold merit, because we do see that happen a lot, especially when it comes to Palestinians or just people in the Middle East in general.
All right. I mean, I just think this sort of shit doesn't work anymore. Like, CNN could fucking launder this shit all they want, and the IDF and Israel will continue with their propaganda, but it's just not hitting anymore. They just can't. You just can't. I mean, even if you
everyone knows it's cynical.
I really did think that, like, oh boy, this like shooting that happened in Washington at the embassy was gonna absolutely, like, everyone was gonna be talking about it. Like, not just the media. I knew that, but I mean, like, it was gonna be like the story of the day for people, and it just wasn't. Like, the media covered it incessantly. And I just didn't hear anybody really talking about it much, other than, like, obviously when it happened, obviously, like, Twitter and social media was talking about it. But, like, by the morning, it was already old news. Like, this stuff is not going to work anymore. Like, the idea that, like, listen, I'm not, like, saying that, like, I don't support what that guy did. I think it's fucking stupid. Those two people had zero power. You know, earlier in the Majority Report, I talked about how, like, you know, if Luigi Mangione, who allegedly shot and killed the United Healthcare CEO, if he is the guy who did it, then at least he figured out who was in charge and had power and pointed his ire at the correct person. Like, these two people were just fucking staffers. They had they couldn't start or stop anything in Gaza. But, like, the whole fucking idea that, like, we're gonna act like this was targeted at Jewish people and not just, like, Israel and, you know, people at an embassy, that's just not gonna work anymore. It's just not gonna work. People are done with this. It's already happened enough. We've already heard about it, this stuff enough, as Israel continues to annihilate people in Gaza. Hundreds and hundreds of people are dying on the regular over there. And then we're supposed to act like the world should stop because 2 people were killed here who worked at the Israeli embassy. I'm sorry. People are not buying it anymore.
I think you're right in terms of the impact on people generally, but the issue is this impacts government. This impacts people in power. I do think
they want.
Yeah, it gives them the excuse to continue not doing anything. It gives them the excuse to you know, pass a bill that's going to do something else. Like, it's right. My worry isn't the population. I think I agree with you. The masses are at least a majority are aware of what's happening and aren't falling into propaganda. Yeah. But the problem is they're not the ones in charge. The ones in, like, Chuck Schumer. I saw a clip today. I maybe I could find it, but he was on some insane rant.
I saw
insane
pro-Israel Nations.
I can pull it up.
Play it.
Yeah.
I mean, but also this isn't like the moment that's going to stop Chuck Schumer from caring about Palestinians. Like, no. Like, the people in power aren't going to give a shit about the people in power are going to give a shit about what happened at the embassy here.
Well, they're afraid of AIPAC.
There's no change. There's no there's no, like, switch. No one's going to think any differently.
Yeah, Matt Leck shared it. This is the one you were talking about, right, David?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yes, it's very emotional. And to almost all Jewish people, we all have relatives, and we know about this has happened. Again, genocide is a vicious, vicious word to use.
I will say it's a word that a UN special committee has used.
Please, the UN has been anti-Israel, anti-Semitically against Israel, double standard.
What?
Moynihan was my idol. He became famous when in 1976 they tried to pass a resolution, Zionism is racism. To say that the Jewish people should not have a state when every other people should have a state is anti-Semitism, the old double standard, ipso facto.
Pause it. There's nobody who says that. There's nobody who says that Jewish people should not have their own state, but everybody else should. It is ludicrous. There should be no states based on a religion. We said Chuck Schumer is in the fucking party that argues against this country being a fucking Christian nation to the Republicans on the regular, and no one calls out Chuck Schumer for being anti-Christian or some shit. This is a ludicrous argument. And you know what? There are plenty of religions that don't have a fucking state either. We're the Sikh state. Where the Sikh people don't have a state. Where are the people advocating for them to have a state? Nobody. Give me a break. This is such a ludicrous argument, and it disgusts me. It is so fucking vile. Talk about using that word genocide as a vile, vicious term. This is fucking a vile, vicious argument.
Doing a genocide is vile and vicious too.
Right, more so than the word, actually.
Yeah.
But, like, what he's talking about is an ethno-state. That's what he's talking about.
Yep.
Like, if you talk to people who are pro-Palestine, they support a one-state solution, equality for all, Palestinians and Israelis. But the reason why they don't want that is because they would lose the ethno-state status. They want Jews to be the minority, and they don't actually want equality. So, like, he's literally advocating for an ethno-state. You can apply this to, like, white ethno-state or anyone else. It's absurd, to Matt's point.
Organizations, I have no faith in them being fair. These same international organizations, when horrible things go in Darfur or China or wherever, they look the other way. So, yes, it's very emotional. And to almost all Jewish people, we all have relatives and we know about.
Oh, okay. You don't speak for all Jewish people, Chuck Schumer.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's I've talked about before about my Jewish background. I have family that is Jewish. There is nobody in my family, at least for the past 2 or 3 generations, that have feel or have any connection to Israel whatsoever. It is ludicrous. And as someone saying that, let me just add that according to Israel, I could have gone on a birthright trip. As someone saying this, as someone who is not raised religiously as a Jew, as someone who has no familial connection to Israel, just because I am ethnically Jewish, I have a right to return to Israel, and the Palestinians who actually live there, it's their land, they don't. It is a ludicrous scenario, ludicrous argument.
It's just so gross the way that Chuck Schumer, he tries to speak for, like, all Jewish people when you don't have the authority to do that. Like, if you hear anybody, like somebody sharing like a black perspective or an LGBTQ perspective, they'll often add the caveat, I don't speak for all people in my community. But Chuck Schumer, like, and he's not alone, but like he overtly tries to make it seem as if his opinion represents everyone. Like, that generalization is genuinely unhinged. There's a quick point. There's a quick point that Bo Z in the chat says, I don't think Matt could. His mom's not. My mom's not Jewish. That's the thing too. So Right.
in the Jewish religion,
Right. Because your dad.
Your mother has to be Jewish for you to automatically be a Jew. If your dad is religiously, ethnically, they can't do anything about that. But religiously, your mother has to be Jewish for you to automatically become a Jew. If your father is the Jewish person in the family, you have to convert. You are not automatically Jewish. Israel does not fucking care about that. I looked into this. As if you are Jewish in any way, according to Israel's rules of what they consider a Jewish person to be, your mother could be, your father could be. It does not matter. That's the religion. The religion cares. The state of Israel does not. That's how much they just want Jewish people or anyone who feels Jewish to go over there and claim the land over people who have more of a connection to it than, someone like me.
Yeah, and it I don't think it's even 100% part of just coming in and claiming the land, although that is the one of the overall goals, right? But it's to relax those rules so that people can come over and then join the IDF. So then they can go and take the land. No,
they just want the reality is, like, not even just like taking the land as in they want people to come over and become settlers or even like join the IDF necessarily. Like, all those are obviously bonuses, but like to just have more Jewish people in the state of Israel, because because they're consistently worried about the scenario where they would become the minority. That's why they say they can't let Palestinians and more Arabs into the state of Israel. They openly say this. The only democracy in the Middle East openly says we cannot allow more non-Jews into the state of Israel, because if they become the majority, then we might lose power. We will no longer hold the majority in the government. The only democracy in the Middle East openly says this, and we call them the only democracy in the Middle East.
Yeah, this picture here. I'm reminded of this. It keeps getting posted on Reddit again, but like this couple from Brooklyn. They're living in this house that this elderly couple was living in because Israel says they have a right to it and they don't. Like it's straight up apartheid. It's an ethno state.
It's maniacal. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like it's that this even has to be debated at all is frustrating to me. Like I'm tired of having to debate like just basic humanity. It's really it's
how do you
terrible.
teach people empathy, right?
Yeah, that's what like this job is so fucking frustrating sometimes, because it's just like that's what it comes down to. Like if you don't have empathy, then none of these arguments work on you. If you don't care about other people, none of this shit it matters. But which also gets to like if this has to be explained to you, maybe it can't be explained to you, because a lot of this is just so clear. It's just so obvious that you shouldn't have to have this explained.
I mean, it's been going on for a long time, and clearly it's people are just really over that's where I say like the idea that like Hamas didn't get exactly what they wanted, like maybe may not have played out exactly how they thought it would, but their ultimate goal of obviously one day having a free Palestine, a Palestinian state. I mean, there's never been more support for it after what they did over the past October 7th. Truly,
it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. I mean, the UN literally came out with a report 2 days ago saying that in 48 hours 14,000 babies are going to starve to death. Like we're up, the 48 hours is up, and they already recorded 26 children starving to death. I mean, like, sorry, not to be negative Nancy, but like, yeah, we have a lot of support. What kind of tangible change has that actually given us?
I will say that report, I talked about that too. They issued a clarification saying that they didn't mean death. They meant at risk of death due to malnourishment. So the 48 hours would have been like when they were severely malnourished. So they just FYI, they issued that like clarification. But I don't think anybody meant that like there was like all those babies are going to die in 48 hours. I think that like the way that I took it was that obviously the situation is very bleak and they need food immediately. And I think there's what was it? You probably know this, Ariana. It's like 500 trucks, might be 600 that's needed. They let in 5 to 9, I believe.
9 were let in on Monday.
Yeah.
I think another 100 were supposed to be let on Tuesday. I would be shocked if that was the actual number. But even still, the UN is saying they need 500 a day, bare minimum.
Yeah.
We haven't let any trucks in. Like,
yeah. So 14,000 babies could plausibly die because they are malnourished. They're already like deeply malnourished. There's a little girl that like has just stuck in my mind. Her name is, I think it's Raf. I can't remember her name. But she's 12 years old, and she's like, there's a picture of her that's going around where she has a picture on the phone of herself before the blockade, and she just looks like a normal little girl. And now she's like completely just like, you could see her bones, and she's talking to the camera. She's crying. She's like, my hair is falling out. I can't stand up to pray anymore because I don't have the energy. I just wish I could go back. And she starts crying. Like that image of that little girl is like another one of the images that's just like burned into my retinas, because like these are things like it's something that we all take for granted, just like being able to eat. And like they're literally being starved to death. There's a woman, I believe she's from Khan Yunis, who is fleeing after Israel said they have to leave. And she's with her baby, and she's talking to camera, and she said, I wish that they would just like kill us all already. Like nuke us, put us out of our misery. We can't keep living like this. Like the agony that they're being subjected to right now as the world turns an eye. It's like, there's no words to describe it. Like this is a modern day Holocaust. And so much of the world is on the side of modern day Hitler, Benjamin Netanyahu. And it's just like astonishing. You'd think that we would learn. But
the governments though, that are the ones that are
right.
okay
The governments. Yeah.
But
When I
it's
say
not
we,
the
I don't mean
people.
us. I mean like the actual governments of the world with power. And you know, you get outliers here and there. Like there's the joint statement from Canada and France and the UK. But I mean, they've been materially supporting them for months now. So they're saying, oh, we'll take concrete action if Israel doesn't allow aid in. The blockade has been going on for 11 weeks now. They are literally starving to death, and only now you're threatening to take action? Like, what the fuck? Where was the urgency on week 1 of the blockade? It wasn't already, like, the conditions weren't great to begin with. It's so maddening because, like, it feels like we're screaming into the void because no matter how much we talk about this, it's just, we feel powerless. Because there's seemingly nothing that we can say or do to actually make a difference here. And the people that do actually protest, like Mahmoud Khalil, they're being punished, and they're trying to make things like that illegal. I mean, it's, what was it, 37, 38 states? There are anti-BDS laws on the books. So you can't get a fucking job or any contract with the federal government unless you sign a pledge to not boycott Israel. We can boycott the United States of America, but we can't boycott Israel, a foreign country. It is fucking insane. Like when you think about it, like it is wild what's happening here.
Yeah, and you know, the Trump administration is cut off a lot of foreign aid, right? Except Israel, and that's
Right.
really it.
As he accuses South Africa of doing a genocide and cuts off aid to them. Isn't that insane?
It is. It just shows that, you know, our government has so much favoritism towards Israel, and you know, part of that. I mean, part of the reason that a lot of our politicians don't speak up is because they're afraid of AIPAC.
Yeah. Yeah, or they were bought. Like Trump, he took $100 million from Miriam Adelson, and she's going to get her money's worth for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to ask you guys about the Theo Von thing because he went viral for crying about Gaza in a clip. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dickhead, but the week before, he was seen having dinner with Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner. And it's like, why don't you use your access to powerful people and actually talk? Like, maybe he's too stupid to understand what's happening.
I couldn't get through more than 10 seconds of that video. I'm like, he's really stupid.
Yeah,
Either
I'm not
he's
a
really dumb
geologist.
or he's really good at putting it on. Because he just said a bunch of things that were really like the words were wrong. I forget what it was, but I'm like, oh my god, I can't even listen to the rest of it. but at the same time, like, I don't want to be elitist about this. Like, I appreciate that he's delivering that message to whatever his audience is. Like, that is not that's a net positive, I think. At the same time, of course, you're right. Like, he has direct access to people that could actually do something.
Yeah, like he just did a speech for Trump in Qatar, didn't he? Talk to him. Call him up. If only there was something you could do. And to me, I feel like, and this is just like a hunch, I think he's playing up the dumb guy thing. Like, oh, I'm not a geologist. Like,
yeah,
I think he's
what
fine.
It was. Geologist. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, come on, please.
That to me, it's like, it's so over the top that it's like, okay, this is a shtick. You're pretending to be a dumb guy. But if you if you genuinely care, if you see these images and you have a human reaction, good. Do something. You have access to the president. You have access to his daughter and
I'm
son-in-law.
not a geologist, man. I don't know. It's just like, oh my god,
frustrating.
What do you?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, he's really good at playing. I think if he's acting, he's really good at playing dumb because he's fooled me. Like he's.
I hope he's playing dumb at least.
I agree with you completely that this is a guy who has access to these people, and the idea that I made this point the other last week about when Joe Rogan was arguing that like the reaction to Kanye West's Hitler song was like, oh, they're censoring him. They won't give. I don't support what he says, but they're censoring him, and it's like. You're Mr. Free Speech, right? You're the fucking guy that Spotify pays hundreds of millions of dollars to. You're their main guy. You're their bread and butter. Spotify is the platform that all music is listened to on now, pretty much. They're the platform not letting Kanye West song on there. If you're Mr. Free Speech, use your power to say, Spotify, I'm not putting out any more podcasts till you add Kanye's Hitler song to your platform.
Well, he doesn't care that much.
But no, you don't care about. You're not Mr. Free Speech. You don't care about that shit. The same thing goes for this here with whatever the fuck his name is, Theo Von. If you really care, you're hanging out with Trump and Jared Kushner and Ivanka. Say something. Do something.
Yeah.
Even if it, like, I'm not under the delusion that he can make a difference and persuade Donald Trump to not support the genocide. But I mean, if you have access and you're saying nothing, but yet at the same time, you have these crocodile tears, which I'm glad, again, like, as long as you're raising the message, cool. But it just feels very duplicitous to do that while not actually trying to meaningfully affect change, right? Because and to his credit, Cenk Uygur, he went on Piers Morgan this week and he talked to a former IDF spokesperson. And, you know, as much criticism as I have for Cenk Uygur, he screamed at this motherfucker at the top of his lungs and overshouted him. You couldn't hear what he was what the guy was saying, and it was effective. And I thought, like, if I was in that position, I would do the same fucking thing. Like, you are talking to somebody who is a murderer. So what do? You just scream at them. So, like, at least try. Like, you know.
That's Cenk's like superpower. Like,
yeah,
if there's one thing he can do, it's fucking scream.
Right.
So when utilized properly in the right situation, it can be very effective.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, like, I did a video about this as well. But like, the guy was like throwing out all kinds of shit at Cenk Uygur, like, oh, you supported David Duke. You're named a Young Turk, so you support the Armenian genocide. And as sensitive as Cenk is, he did not deviate for a fucking second and just stayed on message. So I was like, let's get this Cenk back, okay? Let's not have the Cenk that, you know, normalizes white supremacists like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Charlie Kirk. Let's get this Cenk back, because like that's what you do if you genuinely care. Like, all of the criticism I have aside, like, you can tell he actually cares about this issue. So like, if going back to Theo Von, if he genuinely cared, he would do everything in his power to stop this, even talking to Trump. I mean, fucking what's her name? Kim Kardashian talked to Trump and got Alice Johnson a pardon. So I mean, it's worth at least trying. But like, if you're gonna cry about this, great. But I mean, I just feel like there needs to be more. I don't know. It just feels disingenuous.
Yeah.
Part of it is frustrating. Like, it's not like he's the main problem, but it's just really frustrating.
Come on, Theo Von. If TYT cares so much about this and they could stop blaming trans people for all the issues of today, then you could step up.
Right.
Yeah, do your part.
Do your part. I don't think Cenk comes off good when he does that, but that's just my opinion.
I think it depends on the audience, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like if you're watching Piers Morgan, maybe if that's what you're into, was watching the Piers Morgan show, then maybe Cenk yelling is effective, because your brain's already
you're used
fucked
to
up.
that shit already. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't think that he goes into that with that strategy in mind. That's just him being him. But yeah,
no, that's just him. It's not strategy. That's the one time he won't strategize, but everything else is like 4D chess. Like, you guys have what are you talking about? Of course you got to work with fascists. Like,
I think with Cenk, it's what he's done it for so long that it would be kind of weird if he stopped doing it. I just think that David's point, he just needs to do it in times where it makes sense, because sometimes, most 90% of the time, he does it and it comes off, it's too much. You know what I mean? But I think in like certain scenarios, like this, you know, Israeli whatever, you know, rep, I think it was a great choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're yelling all the time, 2 hours straight, the show gets a little exhausting.
Yeah, there you go.
1000%.
Maybe it's a little too much.
When it's appropriate, it works.
Yeah,
and
when it's appropriate,
I think this was really appropriate. Like, you know, talking to an actual former IDF spokesperson, who was comparing basically like people supporting Palestine to Nazis, was like, that's what set Cenk off. And it was an appropriate time to go ham.
Let me make it clear. Between an IDF guy and Cenk Uygur, I'm on Cenk Uyghur's side.
Right,
I just
right.
thought I just had to make a joke. That's all, because I had to lighten things up a bit.
No, you're good. You're good. I know it's been a kind of a depressing episode.
Yeah.
Usually things are much lighter, Jeff. Just FYI.
But you know what lights us up? Super chats.
You brought out the heavy stuff for me though, so you knew I could take it.
Jeff's here, so we're gonna talk about the most depressing shit ever.
Yep, and we'll still figure out a way to make jokes.
Well, before everybody goes though, because this is where we get to our super chats, Jeff, you are free to stay as long as you want.
Sure.
But in case people are jumping off and they don't want to listen to super chats, tell everybody what you do and where they can find you and how to support you.
All right. Well, I'm on YouTube at the Logical Leftist, so you can go and subscribe to my channel. If I do 5 videos a day. Okay, so I'm outclassing like half the people here. Okay, as far as how much content I put out. Hey, I didn't say anything about the quality, guys, because you guys put out quality stuff. I love it.
I don't even
love
put out
all
that
your
much
stuff.
content in a week, so kudos to you, Jeff.
So no, mine's slop. So I'm just cranking it right out.
Your shit's good, though. Your
Check out my
shit's good.
channel. I do a live stream.
He does good work
every day. So thank you very much. So yeah, please subscribe. If you want to, follow me on Blue Sky, it's Jeff Waldorf. Same thing for our Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. And I'm also on Twitch, same name, Jeff Waldorf, and Facebook. If anybody still uses it, it's actually Jeff Waldorf Show. So please follow me on all the respective platforms if you're interested in seeing what I do every day. And so, that's where you can find me.
Do it. Jeff put out like the best video on transports ever. I don't remember what it was about. Yeah, it was the best video on transports. I cannot remember. This was a couple of months ago. I think I emailed you or I messaged you about it. I'm like, that was the best video I've ever seen. So good.
Thank you.
Check Jeff out. His analyses are good. Very, very, very good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. I streamed on my second channel today, so I'll just quickly go through mine. That's okay. I only got a few. Starting with Lawn Gnomes. Here it is. Does Trump have cancer? Is it Trump's turn the same way it was Biden or Connolly's? We didn't even talk about the whole. It's like what 8 Democrats now have died since 2022, while in office.
Fucking insane.
I gotta say, as a Canadian, we have many issues here. We don't have that issue. People staying, refusing to leave their seats and then dying while in office. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't. It's not a thing that's a common thing the way it happens in the U.S. Just really bizarre. People whose turn is up might be from South Africa, where there are disputed claims of ... Thank you, Lawn Gnomes, for super chat. He has another one. Kids in this economy? Well, if you're a multi-millionaire like Matt Binder.
Oh yeah, okay.
Guess it's easy. I don't know.
You're the person saying that to you has got 600,000 YouTube subscribers. So just remember that.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have 666 as of today still.
How many you got, David? What are you at now?
I wanted
David?
to stay 666. That's amazing.
I'm near 700. I think 695, something like that. Yeah. I'm almost at 700.
Right. And don't forget, folks, YouTube pays you $1 per subscriber. So David Doel makes $700,000 a year.
They should do that. They should do that.
Oh, somebody says real quick, Chuck L, did you guys plug Noah's charity live stream? No, we did not yet, but go support that. Noah Sampson has been doing a fucking a week-long live stream, fundraiser for Palestine. He has raised more than $500,000 at this point, crushing it. Major shout out to Noah. Critical support to him. Really appreciate what he's doing.
Very cool. Donna Monroe. Thank you for your super chat. Says David is hot, but he was hotter when he got COVID hair.
I remember that.
I will never grow my hair long again.
Why?
It's too much work. Every shower took double the time.
Pause.
Don't worry.
Pause.
I got a picture to compare if you want to.
You haven't seen it?
You haven't seen my COVID hair?
No.
Let me see if I can find it.
I love how
What is this?
David, you posted. I think you shared this. You posted a filter of you with long hair before COVID, and then later on, when you actually grew out your hair, you like shared your real long hair, and it looked exactly.
Yeah,
like
and it
the
was like very
filter.
similar.
Yeah, that was really funny.
So I was comparing myself to Verso here. I think I
Oh
look like Verso.
shit! I could see it.
Every time I see this character, I'm like, what the hell?
You should play him in the
This is
movie.
like a way hotter version of me, but
That's insane. I didn't see this tweet.
look at my nice bob.
You look like a French artist, you know?
Yeah.
You do look, that's right. That's
you look
a good,
like
that's
a French
that's good one,
artist that
Helen.
would paint on his canvas. You know what I mean? Like have the oil.
I mean, yeah. I don't
It's
disagree.
a look. It's a
David,
look.
are you French Canadian?
Cool.
No,
Thank
no,
you.
I'm not.
No.
I just
I could
wanted
probably
to
pass
see
for it without hair, but yeah, no, I'll never do that again. It's just too much
I love
work.
how you're like staring into the soul of the camera.
Yeah, like staring through it.
Okay, David
But,
Diva, we see you.
But thank you, Donna. Law Gnomes again. Law Gnomes is very very generous today. I firmly believe dating apps are a scam. If they work, then you no longer need the product. So there's a perverse incentive to keep you swiping.
David, I got to show you really quick.
Hard to argue,
There's a
yes.
video game character that I look like too. I shared this on Instagram a long
Really?
time ago. Yeah. It's the weed character from South Park. It's not letting me add it.
Wait, I can do it. Oh wait, I gotta remove mine there.
There we go. Yeah. Does that not look exactly
It
like
does
me?
look like you.
Like the gauges, the
That's an
glasses.
actual character?
That's a character from the South Park Fractured Butthole game.
Are you sure it's not it's not you?
Yeah, someone might have seen you and we're like, let's base a character.
Or maybe
off
the
this
game.
guy.
I think the game came out first, so maybe you based your look off of the game character.
No. So I added, obviously, like I added the weed apron on myself just
Yeah.
to make it like, but like, yeah, no, I was playing the game and I'm like, why am I
No,
in the
that nails
game?
it.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
I like how you had to clarify that you photoshopped the weed thing on you. But to be
We
fair,
never would have known.
But,
Thank
but
God.
to be fair,
glad I
though,
told you.
if Donald Trump saw that photo, he'd be like, "You saw that guy wearing the weed apron?"
Yeah. So yeah.
One more from Kowalski. You have at least 3 children. To deny that smile to the next generation is a crime against man. Just ward them off to Mike. They might become
David's
incredibly
fucking
mean,
kids.
but it'll be fine.
I don't want David's damn kids. Keep your kids, David.
What? My kids would be great. Why don't you want
I'm sure they'd be great. I don't want no kids. I've got 3 kids of my own, okay? 2 dogs and a cat. That's a lot of
No,
kids.
that's yeah. No.
It's a full house.
One is enough. More than enough. One's good. And he's also like a perfect child, so the next one just wouldn't come out as good. Why ruin a good thing? Why have to compare the first one to the next one? I don't want to do that. That's mean.
That's fair.
So I just
That's fair.
keep
Why do you have to compare?
because the first one's perfect. I would have to. I'd be like, you're a good kid, but not as good as the first one. Sorry.
To be fair, I was worried when I got a second dog that I couldn't love it as much as my first dog, but I actually do love them equally, and I would die for them both in an instant.
okay.
So
That gives me
yeah.
hope then that I would like both my children.
I think you would like them equally. Yeah,
I'm sure I would, but like just behavior wise, it's just hard.
That's true.
Hard
That's
to match
true.
up.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for me. I am getting off. Thank you
All right,
all
David.
All
for
right,
having
take care,
a
David.
great show today, and
Pleasure for you to join us. Yeah,
of course.
Nice.
Good to talk to you, David.
When do I miss an episode? I'm here every time. Hey, I'm on a 2-week streak now, so
That
you
is
never know.
true.
That's good.
right, yeah.
That's good.
All right. Longer streak
And,
than the Maple Leafs.
We don't have any attendance requirements on the Leftist Mafia, so.
By
it's
the way, the
okay.
Leafs. So I'm watching Florida in round 3 now. They are absolutely fucking dominating Carolina to the point where I'm thinking the Leafs were maybe a lot better than people realized. If Florida's doing this well against Carolina, They winning the first 2 games. I don't think Carolina scored a goal yet. It's been wild to witness. But
that's how I looked at it when last season when the Dodgers beat the Mets and then went on to the World Series to face the Yankees. I was like, Yankees only won 1 game against the Dodgers. We won 2 against the Dodgers.
Yeah,
we should have been there. We should have been there.
Unfortunately, it's like every year though the Leafs lose like the Stanley Cup champs. It's like really frustrating that we have like the hardest division apparently. But anyways, before we devolve into a sports podcast, Jeff, great seeing you as well. Great talking to you. And
likewise.
Wish you all well. Goodbye.
God bless.
Have a good one.
All right, Matt, Ariana, did you want to read yours?
Ariana could go.
Yeah, just because Matt, that's why he's having a 3rd child. You know, he gets all the super chats, so we love that for him. But it's not for a while, so yeah. Anyways, that's a great thing, by the way. I'm a little jealous. Nintendo gaming
Of my super chat, of my super chats, or of my children?
Yeah, your super chat game. Maybe the kid I'll be jealous when I'm 50.
You do pretty good yourself, Ariana. You do pretty good.
I do okay. I still haven't been able to break through the YouTube, but also I did move and I didn't have the capacity to make long form content. But we're gonna be back when I'm back from Cancun.
Also, Ariana, I'm serious. Like, sometime later in the summer, we should consider doing something, figuring out some sort of collaboration. Now that we both live in New York, introducing me to your audience. My audience probably already knows you, but vice versa. We could be pretty good crossover.
Like in person?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's figure it out. I have imposter syndrome. I'm scared that no one's gonna show up, and everyone's, I'm scared that we're gonna have 2 people. But I'm down. Let's do it. I need to.
We should do it. We should do a live show. Absolutely. Or we could just do collaborate on a video together, whatever you want. But I think we should do a live show.
No,
we don't got to do a live show at like a fucking 500 seat venue. Could be at like a little 50 to 100 seat venue.
50 to 100. Oh my god, I'm over here thinking 10 people are gonna show up. Okay, maybe we could do it at some bar or something. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm really down. I'll send you my number and we can figure it out. Okay, probably in June or something.
Or way later than that. No, I'm not thinking that soon. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Nintendo Gaming, thank you so much for the $7. Nuisance streamer Vitelli is not getting any help from his home country, Russia. Hope U.S. agent Johnny Somali.
Oh my God, Johnny fucking Somali. Here we go.
I feel like this is a scam. Y'all are trolling us at this point.
Nintendo Gaming Channel is absolutely fucking with us.
You guys know we hate talking about Johnny Somali, and he sent it to me specifically every single time I'm here.
I swear to God, Nintendo Gaming Channel, mention Johnny Somali one more time. I dare you. I'm just
kidding. Blue X, $2. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Nintendo Gaming, everyone's opinion on U.S. ISIS following racist hate group, terrorist group, demons in form of human modern day Nazi secret police. I agree. I'm going to make this quick. I do social media consulting, especially on apps that I understand, like Instagram and TikTok. And I do it for an immigration lawyer in San Francisco. He called me yesterday. I was at the gym. He was like, "Can you talk?" I was like, "Yeah, kind of." I was like, "Just make it quick." It's crazy. So he went to immigration court in San Francisco. There were 6 ICE agents waiting outside of the courtroom, just waiting for these immigrants to have their court cases dismissed so that the minute they walk out of the courtroom, they put handcuffs on them and they put them in the van. And so these immigrants had no idea what was going on. They didn't know what was happening. So he had to stay all day at the courtroom and take these people on pro bono and try to get them an extension by saying like, "Hey, their attorney isn't here. Can you give them an extension to get legal representation?" The judge says, "Okay, like you have a 30-day extension." But if he wasn't there, they would have rounded up like a bunch of people. So if you're an undocumented immigrant, I would say don't even go near an immigration courtroom unless you have your lawyer with you. It's just, if they're doing this in liberal San Francisco, I can't even imagine what it's like in other states, especially red states. So y'all need to be really careful. Like, you really need to be careful. They're not playing.
Did you guys also hear about some of those same immigration lawyers getting notices telling them that they need to leave the country or else they're going to get deported or something or arrested?
Really?
I heard one person getting that, but I haven't heard
No,
of
there's
anything
multiple.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So you said your was it friend's immigration lawyer, like she better be careful or they better be careful too. So because I mean
There's a video of that
that's
happening
scary.
too of I don't know if this is the same instance, but of there was ICE agents waiting outside a court for a case to be dismissed. They were all wearing like masks covering their faces, and there was like a mom and a little girl that were taken away into a van, just waiting for them. Like actual Nazi shit, like genuinely evil.
Yeah. So that's what's happening. Nintendo Gaming $6.99 USA. Oh yeah, okay, we read that. Chris, $10. Thank you so much for being a member, by the way. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
I think this one is new actually, Ariana, from Nintendo Gaming.
Oh, okay, Nintendo Gaming. Thank you so much for the $6.99. USA illegally start USA Constitution shredding start by USA Patriot Act. U.S. Constitution is dead since USA. I don't really know anything about that, so I'm sorry. I'm not the best person to comment.
Yeah, it basically it is unconstitutional. So I agree with Nintendo Gaming Channel.
Okay, yeah, of course it's definitely unconstitutional. Chris, thank you so much for being a member, and thank you so much for the generous donation, $10. Patriotism can be reclaimed for good. It dishonors our veterans when allies like UK, France, Canada stand against an ethno-state intent to expansion and genocide, and the U.S. supports the genocide. I mean, I've never been a patriot. I don't think I'm the best person to comment on this. I just have never really loved what America was built on or stood for ever. Maybe we can make our image better, I guess, at this point. I'm really not the best person to answer this question. Like, I just don't believe in American patriotism.
I'm more of like I'm pro-human species more than like a rah-rah America. Like, I don't have any like attachment to this random place on this rock that I was born to. I think that's kind of silly.
I don't know. The American flag is a triggering flag for me now, as is the Israeli flag. So, but I get what you're saying, though. I'm sure people who are patriots like look at this and they're upset. I can empathize with it. I'm just not one of those people. But thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate it. Looney Tunes 9000. Thank you so much for being a great mod. Thank you for the $2. Thoughts and prayers don't work. Actions do work. I totally agree with you.
Oh, I think there's. Hang on, I'm sorry. They're out of order for me. Let me pull that one up. The one that I have back here. Okay, no, that was Chris. Okay, I'm sorry. I just got it mixed up on my end. Okay, so I think this is the next one from Kowalski. Is that on your side? Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Don't be sorry. Kowalski, thank you so much. This is a fairly good looking panel show. Clearly, David is the cutest. If you do not want to have kids, you may want to move to Canada. We're one executive order away from Handmaid's Tale. Honestly, I'm definitely, let's just say I'm ready to skedaddle when it comes, because it's probably going to come at some point for all of us. Honestly, the minute they ban free speech or they start to censor free speech, like I just can't. None of us can be here. I'm from Iran. Like, I'm from a country that doesn't allow free speech. So I know how that goes. I'm not going to be here for it. So yeah, we're all ready. Tracy,
I think it'll start with like them cracking down on YouTube, pressuring YouTube to censor us. And then after that, then will come the big stuff where they directly go after us if they pursue that path. We're not on their radar yet. Hasan is, because he's big enough, but I think that YouTube isn't a big enough threat to them because there's enough conservatives. So crossing fingers.
Yeah, I think if they ever arrest Hasan I think we'll see how they deal with Hasan. The minute
he's the canary in the coal mine for us.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hasan.
The minute they arrest Hasan, I'll be like, all right, y'all, it was great knowing you. I'm out.
Then we dip.
Yeah, no, seriously. Tracy, thank you so much for becoming a member again. I really appreciate it. I love you. Thank you so much for all the support you give me. Miles Strickler, thank you so much for $50. Oh my God, what a generous donation. Free Palestine. I agree with you. Free Palestine forever. Miles Strickler, thank you so much for the $5. The Bad Hasbara podcast had on the girl who was being chased a couple weeks ago. That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
This should have been bigger news. I don't know why it wasn't.
Yeah, that should have been.
Yeah. Lizzie Bennett, thank you so much for the $5. I'm aware of the mob attack. Ariana media bias is strong, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, imagine if it was, 50 boys that look like me who were screaming in Arabic and Farsi death to Jews and chasing down a Jewish girl. Like, it would have literally been the end of Middle Eastern people in this country, just point blank period. Lizzie Bennett, thank you so much for the $20 again. Reminds me of Crown Heights race riot 91. News reported black residents attacked Jewish residents, but failed to mention that it started Guyanese immigrants killed by a driver during a Jewish religious movement. Wow. I didn't know about that. Did you guys know about that?
Mm-mm.
I don't know. That's really interesting. Thank you so much for the info.
I recall it. I was very young, but I don't remember all the details. Yes.
Yeah. Sounds like it would have been big news. Mr. Rabbit, thank you so much for the $20. Hey, Ariana, this one's for you. I'm the mobster you met. Hey, NYC is a certain spice to it.
Nice.
Remember? Yeah, this is the mobster. Maybe we'll run into each other again, and
Right
maybe
on.
it's a small world. Take care. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the 20. Guys, we're all super nice. If you ever see us in person, please come up and say hi. Whenever I have people coming up to me, it literally makes my whole entire day. It makes me feel like I'm not screaming into an ether. So thank you so much for coming up to me. It means a lot. I always appreciate it when people do that. Joshua Keller, thank you so much for the $2. Everyone knows Ariana has the best hair on Leftist Mafia. I agree. I'm just kidding. I think Matt does.
I'm out of order again. That was Joshua Keller, you said?
It was Joshua Keller, and then now I'm on Looney Tunes again.
Looney Tunes. How does it keep? I'm so out of order here. I wonder if they're not showing up for me. Oh, okay. I see Looney Tunes. I don't see Joshua Keller. So let me here we go.
Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. I'll be doing a live stream in a few weeks. Please subscribe to me and be notified. Okay, period. We love it when someone... Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right, everyone in all of the respective chats, you see Looney Tunes' username. Go support, please.
Nice, Looney Tunes.
We love it when a person is...
Yeah.
All right. Missing Features, thank you so much for the $10. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Omega Shadow Dragon, hi. Thank you so much for the $5. My boy, Dr. Vegapunk, can turn us all into pacifistas or give us devil fruits if we get too much ice in our drinks. Mike knows. I have no clue what that
Mike
knows.
a bunch of One Piece references.
Okay.
Omega, like me, is a very big One Piece nerd. So, yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck I just read.
You gotta be
It wasn't just
1,000 episodes deep into One Piece to get that reference, so...
Okay. Got it. Well, thank you for the dono. Decipher, thank you so much for being a member. I really need to practice instant transmission. I don't know what you're talking about, but I hope you practice it, and I hope
Do it. Practice more. Yeah, practice makes perfect.
There you go. Practice it. Kowalski, thank you so much for the $10 again. Ariana, the belief that the United States is not perfect and needs to be better makes you a patriot. Only a nationalist is blindly loyal to a flag without it. The Republic is... I agree what you say to a fault. I will leave you with this. Like, obviously, I do identify as Iranian American. I'm never going to sit here and say, oh, I'm Iranian, because I was born and raised here. So, obviously, a part of me is, like, culturally American, right? Even though I'm not genetically American. But at the same time, like, everything about this country absolutely disgusts me. And it's just... that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, I don't think there's any point where I would, like, willfully stand up and put my hand on my heart during the Pledge of Allegiance or something.
Yeah.
Like,
it was awkward when I went to the town hall, Democratic town hall, which with a bunch of liberals, I was literally the only one sitting during the pledge. The only one out of a stadium, not a stadium, but it was like a basketball, like, little gymnasium is what I meant to say, with, like, fucking 500, 700 people. It was very awkward, but I'm like, I'm not fucking standing up.
yeah.
I'm not gonna do that shit. Fuck you.
There you go. Period. Mike practices what he preaches, guys. That's all you need to do.
Even if it's very awkward and peer pressure, they want you to give in. I will not give in. I'll sit down. Fuck you.
I love it.
I'm brave.
Honestly, that does take bravery, though, I will say, because sitting down, like, I did that once too, and it was not a comfortable experience at all. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's very uncomfortable because like people notice you from behind, and there wasn't anybody like in a wheelchair nearby. Like before, like if I went somewhere with my dad, he was in a wheelchair, so it was like I'm sitting with my dad. I had that plausible deniability, but now it's like, no, fuck the pledge, suck my balls. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. But all right, guys, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for being so patient with me. I know I've been like MIA on the podcast, but I'm gonna be here from now on.
Actually, you better.
Yes, I will be. I will be here from now on.
Oh, you better.
I'm not missing it again.
I can't
Not
believe
again.
you. How dare you move and have a life, Ariana, outside
I know,
of the
right?
show? I can't believe you.
No, I actually love coming on the show, but moving cross country was a lot.
Oh, I'd imagine it's a fucking nightmare. Moving across town is exhausting.
Yeah.
It was a lot, but we're here. We're set up mostly. Once I get my monitor up going, we're gonna be good. Oh, I got one more. Chris sent another one really quick. I will never surrender patriotism to the nationalists. I love my country not for what it was before the grand strides we've made, the journey I intend to continue. That's the legacy I love.
If it floats your boat, I think that's.
Yeah, I respect it. I just think for me, in my opinion, okay, I don't want this to turn into a debate, y'all, but I think the strides that we've made came from very callous things that we had done, right? For example, like abolishing slavery. Yeah, that was a stride. That was also some heinous shit we did. You know what I mean? Like, we set up social safety net programs after the 1930s depression when so many people lost so much and suffered so much, right? So I think a lot of the strides that we've gotten is from a lot of the pain that the capitalist state has put us through intentionally. I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
No, I agree. I agree unequivocally with you, Ariana. I am not ever going to identify as a patriot because I don't think this country has ever even tried to live up to our quote-unquote purpose. I think the founders are a bunch of wig-wearing homos who shit in holes in the ground. They do not need to be respected for their dumbass constitution that they wrote.
Blade teeth in your mouth.
Yeah, like, it's just embarrassing. Like, that's who we're propping up.
Bro,
these white racists.
We carved a man's face into a sacred mountain who had slave teeth in his mouth. Like,
yeah.
The shit we have done as a country is so diabolical. There is no point where you will see me being a patriot. But I love you though, Chris. You know what? If whatever floats your boat, I'm not here to, I empathize with you. I get it. I just don't think we're going to agree on that. And I think that's okay. That's what makes America beautiful, right? We're able
as long as you agree with the same like outcome of what you want America to be, then we're cool.
Yeah, we're cool. We get it. No shaming here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And keep commenting. I love the discourse. Always do. And I don't want any of you guys to feel left out or feel like you can't comment your opinion, even if I don't necessarily fully agree with it. Ariana, do you know the old Iranian anthem? I do. I'm fully memorized. My parents taught it to me when I was like 2. Okay, I love you guys. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to think of
Oh wait, whoa! You can't just drop that and leave. You gotta share it. Go ahead. Let's hear that anthem.
No. You got to get me drunk on stream to do that. That's crazy. You know what? We'll do a Christmas stream.
Oh, I know what's going to be happening at that live show. Then that first live show, you'll be standing on that stage, heart on your chest.
Or Ariana has to defend not wanting to be patriotic, and now she has to defend not wanting to say the Iranian anthem. Let the girl be.
Oh my god, I know, guys. Come on. I don't follow any state or any government. They can all go crash and burn. I don't care for them. Anyways, guys, I love you so much. Thank you for having me.
You take care, Ariana.
Can't wait to be
back. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for being here. Definitely feel free to come back whenever you want, and you can. Okay, guys.
All right, have a good week. Get some rest.
Yes.
Thank you. I will.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
Bye.
Congrats on the baby. Bye.
Thank you. All right.
Alrighty. Did you want to read yours first, Matt, or do you want me to read mine first?
You could go ahead. You could go ahead.
Okay, so my first one is from Nintendo Gaming Channel, who says U.S. Nazis, aka Republican leader Orange Man's, the Department of Homeland Security is vetting a U.S. citizenship dangerous competition reality show. Yeah, we talked about that this last week. It's very dystopian, not very surprising for America. We would do some deranged shit like that. Archangel says, "Love all you do, Mike." That really means a lot. Thank you, Archangel. I appreciate you saying that. John Lithium again with 5 gifted memberships. John, you are so kind.
John.
Genuinely, thank you so much. John's
Ooh.
like the sugar daddy of the show, so we appreciate John. Archangel with a 20. Thank you so much. Mike, have you seen the challenge to not find a Subaru on a random Google Street Views in Portland? You basically open a Google map of Portland and random do Street View drops and try not to find a Subaru. It's quite hard. I haven't seen the Subaru one, but I've seen these Google Map Street View videos on TikTok of Portland, and they are pretty funny. I'll have to look for the Subaru one. I can't remember which one I saw. I think somebody was saying, I'm dropping into random areas in Portland and leaving once I find somewhere that's ugly. And it took him a while to find somewhere that was ugly. So I felt good about that. Mafiosos. That's a good name for the viewers potentially. Sam says, thoughts on Candace Owens interviewing Harvey Weinstein. It feels creepy as hell that the right will give excuses to him, Russell Brand, and Andrew Tate. I know that she did a video. Did I just cut out? I don't know if you all can hear.
Oh
me.
yeah. I'm all robotic.
Okay. So I know she did a video trying to rehabilitate Harvey Weinstein. I did not see that she actually interviewed him. Honestly, it's at this point it's not surprising because anyone who's like a very, very bad person, give it like 5 years and the right will want to rehabilitate them. They're currently, like Ben Shapiro is currently trying to get Donald Trump to pardon Derek Chauvin, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is signing on to this. So like any demon who's done terrible things, just give it time and Republicans will want them to be part of the coalition. It's genuinely sick, but it's not surprising for Candace. Xiaomi says, Mike, John Iderola is doing a live event with Francesca, so how about inviting him on the show? That would be amazing. I would love to have John on. I just don't want him to feel uncomfortable because we talk a lot of shit about TYT, so I don't want him to feel like he'd be in a position where he'd have to criticize them. We wouldn't do that. But of course, I would love to have John on. John is a great person. Him, JR, there's still a lot of really good people at TYT, so I would love to have John on. Jones City. It was Johnny Somali who called also Jeff is hot.
Thank you.
So they're trying to trigger everyone but Jeff by bringing up Johnny Somali.
Apparently.
They love, Jeff, if you don't know, they love to fucking ask questions and mention Johnny Somali. I have not known who this dickhead was until they brought it up, but they have to make sure that we know about Johnny fucking Somali. It's crazy.
Okay.
They love to torture us. Yeah. It's terrible. Fritza says, I don't have children, but I'm the bougie auntie. That counts. That counts for something for sure. Yes. Tara says, wanted to point out new Baby Bender will be a beta. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's going to be the beta generation. Interesting. Fritza says, a woman willingly sleep with Stephen Miller Gross. Has that happened? Is there evidence? I feel like he is like objectively repulsive. Karsham with $10. Thanks so much. There's a fantastic article in Slate today on how Trump's chaos is targeted to take away empathy. Americans don't lack empathy. We are being drained of it. I wouldn't necessarily say that Americans are being drained of empathy, maybe to an extent, but I think that they're just trying to make us tired so we are less like
so we don't fight back.
Just run us down. I think that's part of it for sure.
I think a lot of us are feeling it too, especially,
I know I am.
Those of us who talk about this stuff all the time. I mean, the burnout is real.
Oh, it's so real. I deliberately avoid news if I'm not actually prepping for my show. I don't browse Twitter, like almost never now.
It's funny because like I want to do the same thing, but now because of all the shit that's going on, my wife's starting to get into politics more, right?
Really?
And so she's paying attention a lot more than she used to. And so she's now coming up to me. Can you fucking believe what Donald Trump did today? That fucking asshole. And I'm like, Yes, honey, I just did a report on that.
Yeah,
Somebody needs to get rid of him.
It's tough. It's so. It just
I'm
feels
out of spoons.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this now as of June for 10 years in total, and I'm very clearly not making a difference. And talking is no longer
What it
cathartic
feels
to
like.
me. Not that I felt like I was going to change the world with the fucking YouTube channel, to be clear, but it just feels like
Right,
I'm
but-
like farting in the wind. You know what I mean? It's exhausting.
No, it definitely
yeah.
it does feel like that. You know, we're yes, you know, we're talking about these, I would think, pretty important issues. You know, and we're talking about it all the time, and it doesn't feel like we're moving the needle at all. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, progressives, like, we're not winning, you know, at the state level or the congressional level, and we got a dickhead as president. Okay, you know, like, it makes me think, like, what the hell have we been doing? Like, what kind of impact are we having? And it takes that kind of thought, just takes us kind of like down a real dark path. And
Yeah.
you know, it sucks.
To be fair, it's not surprising that we're not winning. If you want to be a leftist, it is to suffer perpetually. If you want to win, you've got to be a capitalist. Then you'll be winning all the fucking time.
we do have a lot of forces arrayed against us.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
take your pick. You know, we get the fascists, and then we got the establishment, Democrats, and it's just, you know, it's rough. It's rough out there to be a leftist. But I kind of knew that going into this, that we'd be Sisyphus rolling that fucking boulder up a hill.
The boulder has collapsed and crushed our heads, and now we're trying to
get
like
right the fuck back up and keep pushing that fucking boulder.
Yeah.
Now
yeah.
the boulder has gotten bigger, and it's
Yes. Speaking of this is so random, but so people know I'm a fan of Lego. So the guy, I can't remember his name. He was on MythBusters. He has a YouTube channel, and he did a Lego version of Sisyphus. That's like you crank it, and it actually moves, like, and it rolls. It was so fucking cool. Like, look up that video. That's a really good like mealtime video. That's not going to depress you. Go do that right now, everybody. After you watch. Oh, nice. JD's a Lego fan and collector. Nice. Hell yeah. Shout out to you. Okay. So we're at Donald James. Thanks for being a member for 22 months, and thanks for the chat here. Oh, this is not for me. It was so sweet. I was hoping it was for me. Dang. Okay. This one's for me here. Member for a month. Thanks, Unholy Cannoli. Also says, how do you guys not lose your mind with what you cover every day in Trump's America? I mean, listen, I'll be honest. My mental health has been not very good, but as of late, I have been coping by smoking a lot of marijuana, to be honest, and it is really, really helping me. And also not dwelling on it too much, checking out on the weekends, not consuming political content to the extent that I was. It's helping me get by. There's a lot. I like kind of just accepted that I can't cover everything. So I'll pick one topic per day, work on that, and then move the fuck on. Try not to focus on it. It's just too much. It's very, very depressing. And it's not that like I can completely unplug, because sometimes you'll see shit that's genuinely depressing, like Gaza images, shit like that. But I mean, I do the best that I can. We all do, right? You're all in the same boat watching. So, you know, I try, and I'm sure you all do too. It's tough.
I mock the fuck out of these people. All right,
that helps
Trump's
too.
America. The MAGA people, like, I'm not sorry. No, I mock them.
Yeah, don't
I
be.
try. I make fun of them. I'm doing. You know what? Because one of the great things I like Tim Walz, right? I thought he was a pretty good pick. Okay, and that's what Tim Walz is doing. He's going out there and just making fun of these people. And I think we need to bring that back. We need to do that. Fascists, the way to get at fascists is not to point out, oh my God, these people are so fucking dangerous and they're scary, right? I mean, yeah, they're doing some dangerous and scary shit, right? But really, what gets to them is mocking them, making fun of them. They're small people. They're pathetic little bitches. All right, they're
they're the soy right.
Yeah, and so you got to point that out. Like that's one of the ways that you can, at least push back against fascism is fucking make fun of it and make fun of the people who believe in it, because they are some of the dumbest, genuinely dumbest motherfuckers on the planet.
I agree, Jeff. Yeah. It's cathartic to make fun of them too, and to see people shit on them.
It is.
So yeah, no.
Can I read a comment here real quick?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, from Mick Munster says, was under the impression that Jeff was much more closely in line to Dems. Got to check out his stuff again. I think. Let me tell you what. I have a lot of criticisms at the Democratic Party. All right, I think they're just a fucking disaster. They're too establishment, too centrist, don't want to win, too influenced by the donors. Now, that said, with a lot of my content, I'm mostly shitting on the right. Okay. And that's because they are currently in power, and they are incredibly, they are dangerous, right? And they're doing shitty things, people. But never forget, though, that it was the Democratic establishment that has allowed our country to slide right into fascism. And so I do try to make that point. So yeah, if you want to check it out, you are going to see me shitting on the Republicans a lot and mocking them and making fun of them. But there is also criticism that I levy towards the Democratic establishment, that I try to do it in a way to not like offend the normie lib audience, but to try to bring them to the left, because I think there's a lot of normie libs that just don't know. And actually, when you present them with things like, hey, Medicare for all, we need it, we have to have it, and here's why, right? You can bring people over using that. And we need to bring a lot of people over to the left, to progressivism, to leftism. And I think we're capable of doing that. We just got to cut through that bullshit. We got to cut through the MSNBC, CNN establishment, Dana Fash bullshit to bring it over.
What you got to do is, when Republicans are in power, you shit on Republicans and you build up your lib audience. And then by the time the Democratic primary comes around, you've already turned them into commies. And then once Democrats win, you shit on the Democrats once they have power. And then you get some more centrists
that they said they were going to do.
Yeah, you get more centrists than right wingers, and then you turn them into commies.
Yeah,
and then it's just the cycle. You just, it's like you're in, out. It's a communist factory. That's what we do. We turn them into communists. By the way, somebody mentioned this in the chat. This is random as fuck, and I checked. This is apparently fucking real. Like, what the fuck? Ohio police find raccoon holding meth pipe during traffic stop. And then when an officer took the pipe away, the raccoon pulled out another. Excuse me? What the fuck?
Yes.
What is this? Is this like an actual report? I just gotta check really quick.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
The raccoon's playing with her meth pipe.
All right.
Oh, there's no way. He's trying to smoke it.
All right. Thanks.
There's no way. All right. Enough fun and games.
Wow. Okay, raccoon. What the
Get
fuck?
it.
How do you know who? I don't know who recommended this, but how did you hear about this fucking story? What the hell?
That's awesome.
Wow. All right.
Raccoon. That's awesome.
Raccoon, that is good. Nice.
That's Bridget, by the way, that made that comment. That's
okay. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Wow, that's amazing. See, that's the kind of stories you focus on. That's a good palate cleanser.
Yep.
Alrighty. Okay, I don't have too many left. So we have Karsham with $10. Thank you. The trans prisoner lie came out of court decisions a decade ago that refusing gender confirmation treatment to trans prisoners and thus forcibly detransitioning them violated the 8th Amendment. Oh, okay. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, because I don't think there was a single, even one anecdote to prove that these surgeries were paid for.
Right.
They should be. Like, if
I wouldn't care if
it's
they
healthcare.
were.
Yeah, it's healthcare. So, but like, it's not even. They're literally getting mad about something that's not happening. Like, that's fucking very on brand for Republicans.
They fucking do it all the time. Like it's they make up things that aren't happening and you get pissed off about it. But what sucks is that they have this media apparatus that is able to spread it. Like I don't know the exact number, but there were polls where they were asked about how many transgender people actually exist in this country, and they were citing like somewhere like 20-30% of the
I saw that too.
Like transgender. It's like, no, they're less than 1%. I mean, if they were 20-30%, who the fuck cares? That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Let them be. Like, let them piss in the bathroom where they're comfortable. I don't give a fuck. All right. They're not a danger, but that it's all the propaganda that has made it where people think, oh my God, this is a gigantic problem. Why exactly is it a problem? Oh, well, I keep hearing that they're trying to replace women and they're beating them all at sports and they're doing the rapes and everything in the bathroom. No, absolutely none of that bullshit is true. But if it was 20-30% of the population, who the fuck cares? Live your own life and stop worrying about what's in other people's pants. All right.
Yeah. No, well said. Well said. Okay. Thank you so much for the chat. No message from Sir Gerbil, but really appreciate that. Chris, thanks for being a member for 1 month. Appreciate you, Chris. Let's see here. Nick says Israel delegitimizes itself every time they commit heinous war crimes. Putting the blame on the people calling it out is genocide apologia. Totally agree. Yeah. Well said. Chris says, why are these people yelling Free Palestine, stop the killing and end the genocide so upset? I don't know. It must be an ancient hatred of the Jewish people. Yeah, it's so cynical, Chris. Yeah. It's so cynical. DB says, defamed online leftists should make a class action lawsuit against MSN and biased reporters like Dana Bass and Jesse Waters and evil groups like the ADL and APAC. I mean, I don't know if we have enough for that because they don't really mention us by name. They kind of just like collectively demonize college students. But like with the Hasan Piker, like they're actually name dropping him. And I think that does cross a line. But to Ariana's point, defamation is very difficult to prove because proving a malicious intent and damages is a high threshold to pass. Nonetheless, if I'm Hasan and I've got money for attorneys, I think it's worth it because like that is genuinely an incitement of hatred and potentially violence against him in the Trump era. Let's see here. The next one is going to be from Sir Gerbil here. This time there's a message and $20. Wow, thank you so much, Sir Gerbil. That's so kind of you. I had to watch a VHS of John Hagee telling good Southern Baptists everywhere that the U.S. needed to invade Iraq to help the Israelis bring about the end times back in 2003 when I was 17. Damn. Yeah. I know that, like, my parents never watched John Hagee, but my sister would have John Hagee on. And my mom didn't like John Hagee, even though she was evangelical. I don't know why. But yeah, the things that John Hagee has said are genuinely deranged. So the fact that, like, he's considered a friend to Israel, and he's like, it's just gross to me. Like, this is Christian Zionism in a nutshell, though, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? W was influenced by that. I mean, he talked about Gog and Magog coming out of Iraq. Oh my! I don't even know what the fuck that is, but apparently that's
a deep cut.
Real bad. So
yeah, that's
we're gonna
a deep
have
cut
to go
for the
and launch a
fundies.
war.
Right. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. That's America. Kenzie, thanks for being a member for almost 2 years. Wow, thank you so much. Looney Tunes says, here's your Lance money, even though he ain't here. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. The next one is from a couple here. Tejaswi with 200 rupees. Thank you. I'm confused. Israeli government employees and Zionists are Nazis. They are culpable in genocide. Then why are you condemning the violence against them? They're not Nazis and willing participants. They're not actually doing the killing, so it's different. And I feel like that post is like low-key you-fed posting, so don't say things like that. No, that's not okay. And if you support the violence against those people, it is literally going to be used against you. It's going to be a justification to shut down your free speech. So, like, think about the bigger picture here and like understand that it's bad. It's bad, and we all need to condemn it and not like Fed post like that. Duke of Bread says interrupted nutrition and development does permanent damage. All these children will have long-term health problems and die younger even if they survive. Yeah. I mean, when you are a child, that you're very vulnerable. So yeah, and not to mention like the mental health issues that they will deal with for a very, very long time, probably forever. The PTSD that they'll have, the anxiety, it's going to be an uphill battle, right? Joshua says, people like Theo and Rogan don't care about things. They care about how the things make them feel. Then they move on to the next thing that bugs them. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it too. They are very detached from regular people. I'm sorry, it just jumped for me here. Let me see who's next. So that was Joshua. So the next one is going to be... I hate when it does this. Okay. Next one is Tajaswi. Do you think Israeli embassy employees are not culpable, innocent? If no, why are you not explaining the violence like you explained Hamas violence on October 7th? I already told you, you sent 2 super chats about this. I'm not going to play the game that you're playing. Like, you're giving CIA to me. I'm not trying to, like, Fed Jackie you, but, like, the shit you're saying, like, you're trying to condone violence. And I'm telling you that they are not the people doing the killing. It doesn't make a difference. If you harm them, they're not actually doing the murdering. So you shouldn't say that, and you shouldn't condone their violence. It will be used to shut down people who want to advocate for Palestine. So I'm just letting you know, not very smart. Let's see here. Rimuru says, at this point, I'm voting for the extinction level meteor for the 2026 midterms. I would have given more, but money is really tight right now. Hey, if you can't afford it, don't give anything. But I appreciate your kindness, nonetheless. Just, keep that money for yourself. Parker says, how would you rank these in terms of worst election nights in your life? Bernie losing 2020, Super Tuesday, Trump winning 2016, or Trump winning 2024? I'd probably have to say Bernie losing 2020 Super Tuesday, because that was also the day my dad died, so it was like kind of a double whammy. I'd say that was the end of like hope for sure. I already didn't have hope when Trump won in 2024, so didn't affect me as much as Bernie 2020.
Still all bad.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, here. Omega says, Mike, you started Dragon Ball Z and skipped the original show. I did, yeah. I already know the story basically from the original show for the most part. And I just wanted to rewatch Dragon Ball Z. I don't know. I just I don't want to go too far back. I mainly want to watch Dragon Ball Z, so I got to watch Dragon Ball Super, which I never watched. So I'm just trying to get caught up. And then I guess I could watch Daima, maybe, if I'm not sick of it by then. But I kind of want to watch Jujutsu Kaisen as well. There's also Solo Leveling. There's a lot of other good animes that I want to watch. So yeah, I don't want to spend forever in Dragon Ball Z like I did with One Piece. But I think I think I've got enough. I can always go back and watch the original or the first one. ABS, nice to see you, ABS, says, hey, Mike, I wanted to ask this for a while, but what is the title to the Leftist Mafia's opening song? So it doesn't have a title. Lance actually mixed that himself, but the instrumental is from Macklemore. It's Hins Hall. That's the name of the song. And then he mixed in Rage Against the Machine. And what's the other one? I'm blanking right now. I'm forgetting. Oh, fuck, I'm not remembering. Why am I blanking on it? Chat, help me out. What's the rap verse that Lance mixed in? It's not NWA. That was in the original mix. Yeah, there's Kendrick as well, but there's another one as well. God damn it, I don't remember, but it's the instrumental, like the beat is from Macklemore. Yeah, there's Rage Against the Machine, there's Kendrick, and then there's something else. Someone else. Oh, yeah, it's Public Enemy. It's Public Enemy. Thank you, Hillel. I was blanking on it. I'm like, is it MF Doom? But I'm like, no, that's what I mixed into like the Luigi song. I couldn't remember. Yeah, DNA from Kendrick. Yeah. Okay. No, it's not ludicrous. That was a terrible guess. Who said ludicrous? Jones City. Does not sound anything like ludicrous. Okay. Let's see here. The next one is from Sanity, who says, there should be a playable character in GTA 6 named Luffy Mangione. Hey, yeah, that'd be I'd play that character. Archangel says, I've moved 5 times the last 10 years for Army. Ariana, I know what you mean. I want to get out. Fuck the Army. And now I can improve my mental health. That's a lot to move. But yeah, if you're in the military, you are going to move a lot. That is draining. So yeah. Mr. Man says, I have nothing creative to write. Besides that, I hope that you and everyone else here will have a great day. Free Palestine. That's really kind of you. Yeah, Free Palestine. Thank you so much. Joshua says, I get your feelings, Mike, but you helped pull me left 9 years ago. Oh, that's good to know. Nice. Thank you for telling me that. Well, maybe just reinforce what I already thought, but you do make a difference. Well, thank you. I appreciate the validation. Thank you so much for saying that. Kowalski says, that's really, really kind. There are 2 Americas, the Empire and Republic. The Republic is ours. The oligarchs have the Empire. The Empire must end for the working class to live. Hate the Empire. We, the people, are the Republic. Yeah, I agree.
There you
I
go.
agree.
Yeah.
Unknown says, unrelated, best current cabinet member and politician in the UK, actually easily the world, is Larry, Chief Mooser to the cabinet. Gotta love Larry. I am not familiar with Larry, but that's good to know.
If Larry is a cat, that is awesome.
I love the name Larry, so that's a great name to give a cat. JJ Cyan says, remember the ADL refused to condemn Musk's salute? Yep. Very,
Blew my
very
mind,
telling.
too.
Yeah.
Larry is a cat. Larry is a
Okay.
cat. I figured Chief Mouser, right? By the way, the cat that I had earlier. That's
I said Moser. I was
Moser,
completely fucking.
His name's Jack. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, people were asking the name in the chat. I didn't want to interrupt you.
And he is a very good boy.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, he's a sweet boy.
Oh. Excuse me. Miles Strickler. Thank you so much, Miles. It should be brought up more often that fascism is a loser ideology for losers. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Archangel says, Mike, I love to hear that you are a Lego collector. I'd love to DM you with my own collection of over 100 of the collector editions across all fields, especially in Star Wars. No shit. Do you have the Venator or like the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Did you see the Lego Millennium Falcon is like fucking massive. It's like $900. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
DM
if you
me
can afford those, that's awesome.
DM me your collection. That'd be amazing. I would love to see that, Archangel. I'm a huge Lego nerd. Let's see here. Bayphoto says the adult-focused Lego sets are fun. Hey, we have another AFOL. I love building the Concorde and the botanical collection pieces. Also, tell the raccoon to pass the pipe. Nice. Yeah, the botanicals are really cool. I just built a botanical. It was a little bamboo piece. It was like a kind of like a smaller set, but it's really cool. I have that shit on display in my bedroom. It looks awesome. I have it next to the little the botanical potted plants. I think that's what it's called. Very, very beautiful sets. Love them a lot. Very classy. Chris says, do not inflate occupier government employees with legit military targets. That's what the occupation state does with the civil workers. We are better, we must be. Yeah, that's in response to the post from the other person earlier. Yeah, that's exactly well said. Better than I put it. Thank you for saying that. I agree, Chris. Let's see here. Just 2 left. JJ says, I recommend watching Freerin if you hadn't yet. I have not. I don't think I've heard of that, but thanks for the recommendation. And Brian G says, a fertility clinic bombed in my town, Palm Springs, California, Project 2025. Oh, yeah, I saw that. God, this has been a crazy week. That was from like a mortalist who did it. It's somebody who thinks that the human race should be extinct and is mad that he exists because he didn't consent to existence. Weird fucking shit. Like, I automatically assumed it was like some deranged pro-lifer. No, it's like a fucking mortalist, which now I unfortunately know what that is. Yeah, weird shit. That's crazy that it happened in your town, though.
Yeah.
Unknown says, please check out Larry's official picture on the UK government's website. Okay, I will. I've not heard about this, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah, Larry the cat.
Okay.
I bet he's the goodest boy too.
I'm sure. Okay, Matt, take it away. It's all you now.
All right. You want to go through the thing for me?
Yeah.
All right. Penelope Diote with a $20 super chat. Thank you, Penelope. Matt, congratulations on the new addition to your family. I appreciate that. Let's go to the next super chat. It is from Fuggy Bootling with a $10 Canadian super chat. Matt, congrats, man. As a Canadian, want to know your punk rock opinion of David Comes to Life by Fucked Up. Love the record. I'm familiar with Fucked Up. I'm not someone who goes by records so much. I just listen to like songs, and I usually don't recall exact full records. But Fucked Up's a good band. Archangel with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Archangel. Matt, been a big fan of Leftist Mafia since before you booted that pyramid head bitch off.
Oh.
But why did Ole leave? I don't remember hearing a reason. I loved her commentary. Well, Ole left because she was really upset that the pyramid head was kicked off. So she left the protest.
Just in protest.
No, Ole was just done with this specific type of show. She wanted to focus on her own channel. She also didn't like some of the type of comments that like live streams tend to get, and she prefers doing like her thing on her channel. But
being
she's still
the one
friend.
black woman on a show with like 5 white dudes is,
Right.
It can be a lot.
Even a good audience has its bad apples.
But we just did a show with Ole, like
yeah.
we're
still
OG
she
Leftist
didn't-
Mafia crew with Emma Vigeland, by the way.
Right. She had nothing. She had nothing against. In fact, sometimes she pops up in the comments of this show.
Nice.
We're still on great terms with Ole. She's a friend of the show. She'll forever be a part of the show. Unless she sent us like a cease and desist and said, "Stop saying that about me." I'm not at all a part of the show. Then I will change that. But as long as she's fine with it, I consider her to still be a part of the show. She's part of like the extended family. She's an OG.
She helped build the show,
Part
made
of
it what it is.
Who's right? Yep. She's not like Pyramid. Pyramid, it's like
No.
we Chris Benoit did Pyramid. It doesn't exist anymore. Let's go to the next super chat. Chris, member for 22 months, super chat. It is once again time for the U.S. to join the allies of UK, France, and Canada to stop an ethno-state intent on expansion and genocide. And it's not happening this time around, at least not anytime soon, unfortunately. Marcus Tan, member for 16 months, super chat. Hello from Singapore, Matt. Why is the U.S. doesn't like public housing? I always see news that residents opposing building of public housing near their homes. Because it lowers the property value. I mean, that's literally everything is about the value of your home. Everything.
Yeah.
They think because their home is there, they get to be the final arbiter of what gets to be built in the entire, 10, 20 mile radius. It is ludicrous. Yeah, it is ludicrous. I think the government needs to buy up real estate, cut out all the middlemen, and fucking provide housing. It could be they could even charge a nominal fee for the basic upkeep. So they're so it's not costing them anything. Like it's just they're paying off whatever it costs them to run the building, and that's it. No need for the profit motive of all these landlords and landowners. They really should. Like the government should be buying, the way things have gone, with the way real estate has become, the pricing of real estate has become. I truly think like the whole, I'm not against building new buildings. I'm not a NIMBY, but it's not enough. You can't just be building new buildings and just giving the same corporate fucking real estate companies the same domain over these new buildings, because they're just going to continue to perpetuate the same problem and not lower costs. In fact, they'll just continue to rise.
I mean, you're going to snap it right up.
Right. Maybe in like some lesser populated cities and states it'll work, but in New York City, that shit's not going to work. I see new buildings go up where they are bound by law to provide some affordable housing. And you know what that affordable housing now is in New York City? We're talking the affordable housing price, which you only can apply for if you are below a certain income level. We're talking studios for like $3,000-$4,000.
Wow.
That's affordable housing in New York City. It's not going to work. So we should be building. We should be building more. But the government needs to be honestly owning a good portion of these buildings, if not all of them.
Yeah, I think we also need to figure out a way to make it so that our homes are not the only way for us to build actual generational wealth as well. Because that's one of the big problems. That's why people are so protective of their, the cost or their worth of their home, right? Or the value. Because there's nothing else. There's no other way for you to actually have or make value in this country anymore. And so I can understand. I can empathize with people who are trying to hold on to that. I don't agree with them. I want them to be. I agree with you. I want there to be more affordable housing. They're actually affordable housing. There has to be another way for people to actually be able to build real wealth, sustainable wealth in this country. And right now we don't have that. So we have to fix both of those problems.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is like a home is like literally the only asset that just line goes up no matter what. Yeah. There's no ebb or flow. Like I've been waiting for, like, obviously every like couple of decades there's a crash, but it's quickly corrected. I mean, we've seen how we've bailed out people like that. Of course, the people who get screwed over are the ones who actually need the home and have trouble affording it, and then they're the ones who don't get bailed out. But all the fucking big corporate real estate companies, they're the ones who are protected and taken care of. I mean, don't forget the reason why we one of the major reasons, at least in New York City, why we reverted back on so many companies reverted back from doing the remote work that was popularized under the COVID lockdowns was because the fucking real estate companies were like, you can't do this shit anymore. We're losing too much money. Exactly. Can you imagine an industry having that much power that they get to force companies outside of their industry to change how they run their business? It is ludicrous. But that's what happened in New York City.
Yeah, real estate has so much power, especially in cities like New York City. I mean, they're backing all the worst Democrats that are running, like Cuomo.
Right.
So it's like
that's what pisses me off about, like, I haven't read too much into it yet, but from the basics that I've understood from interviews and stuff, that's what bothers me so much about the abundance guys. They really do think simply building is going to fix the problem. And on top of that, anyone who disagrees with them must be some NIMBY who doesn't want people to build. No, build. I think people who think they have a right to say what goes up in their neighborhood, or you have a right to offer an opinion of what goes up in your neighborhood. And maybe you get to have like a percentage of a say that quantifies you as whatever amount you are in that community, but you don't get to shut something down for everybody else if everybody else wants it. Right. So I'm not one of those guys that they love to just, anyone who criticizes them, they think is one of those guys. No. Right. Build more. Can't just put it in the hands of the same people.
Yeah. Because they're just going to keep buying it up and raising the price and keeping that, because the whole purpose is to keep that supply low, so that they can continue to raise those prices. So they're going to do whatever they can, buying up all the new properties or lobbying to create like more strict zoning requirements and zoning laws too. So that's another thing that they use, another tool that they have to try to limit that supply of housing to keep those prices high. And so, that has to be the focus, to be able to, disempower these large corporations from coming in and buying up all these additional homes. And besides, like, it's not the supply that's the problem. I mean, we have more empty houses right now, enough to put every unhoused person into a home, more than enough. So it ain't the supply that's the problem. It's not, building new homes is not going to solve this. No, we need to figure out something else. We need to do something else. And unfortunately, those moneyed interests have a stranglehold on our politics.
Right.
I love how I put up the chat on the screen, because apparently you could do that now on StreamYard.
Sweet.
So on the bottom right, there's the chat.
Oh, that's awesome. We should have that every show now.
Yeah, but as you both are having a substantive conversation, the chat is talking about people being horny.
No, that's great. I love it.
Classic chat.
Listen, when a man loves a woman, we get some affordable housing. All right, so
All right.
let's.
If you kids behave, you could stay on the screen. Okay.
Oh,
That's
no,
kind of
the
a cool
others
feature.
are seeing us. you have been seen.
I see all
Daddy.
the horny posting.
Mommy, Daddy, where did that new building come from? Well, darling, when a man and a woman love each other very much.
Tune it down. Or we're gonna take you off the screen. Okay, you're gonna be grounded. Okay.
All right, I hate to say this, but right now my chat revenue is $148.80. So please, someone give me something so it's not $14.88 anymore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Even if you just give me a penny, just let's remove that. Marcus, and that's not, to be clear, that was just like the cumulative totals. It's not like people did that on purpose. Marcus 10 with a super chat. Congrats, Matt. Same as me, a father of 3. Yeah, three looks like a good number.
It's kind of cool because you can see the other chat while we have the super chats on screen too. This is actually really handy. I like it.
Wanda with a super chat. Congratulations, Matt. So happy for you and your family. One more wonderful progressive on the way. Oh, she's already told us that she's a she's a libertarian. She's a classical liberal.
That's right. I thought it. You said it.
Thank you, Wanda. Donald James, member for 22 months, super chat. I don't have anything to say. I still support you, though. I think that's what he meant.
Did you skip the lawn notes?
What is where do you see that?
I see this one. I feel like this one.
I don't think this one was for me. I don't see it. I think it might have been someone else.
Yeah, David, maybe. Okay, well, we acknowledge you, Lawn Gnomes. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, and then this one I did not bring up.
I actually think David read that one, honestly. I remember hearing that one.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Chris next, right?
Chris with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. Maybe, just maybe, the lack of confidence stems from the back of the mind, always knowing you're one serious injury, illness, or mishap, one bad day from homelessness or prison. Maybe.
Yep.
I mean, why aren't we seeing the same thing from young women then? Like it's an easy cop out to just give these young men like this easy out. Sure, for some of the ones who aren't totally so far gone, and maybe they're just having a bad moment, or yes, that could be the issue for sure. I'm not writing any of these people off completely, but we're just not seeing the same thing from young women, and they're having just as difficult of a time. It's not like only young men aren't having a successful financial and career prospects. Young women are dealing with the same thing, yet they are more progressive than ever, while young men turn to the right. I don't buy the excuse. I'm sorry.
It's also a global phenomenon with younger men turning to the right as well. Mm-hmm. We talked. We kind of explored this a couple of weeks ago as well, and I felt like it was a good conversation.
Right.
I don't remember what episode that was, but we did cover this, and I feel like we really dived into the weeds.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I see it is there's a shit ton of propaganda that is from the right that has been trained specifically on young men.
Chris had a follow-up. Confidence equals progressive ? I mean, in this discussion, though, the issue with young men is that they are turning further right, and I'm not talking about political, like how they vote. I mean, they are literally finding a scapegoat for their own personal problems. They're blaming and then taking it out on immigrants or women or LGBTQ plus people, especially trans people. And I don't care what their politics are, but in terms of who they vote for or whatever, what kind of politicians they support, or even like if we're talking about specific policy, like if they were like not for Medicare for all, for example, fine. I don't care about that specifically in terms of where they're turning, but they're then supporting a policy that hurts, that like literally removes rights from people. And I'm not like that. That's where there's a problem. Obviously, that's what the issue with them is, how they treat people. And young women are not treating people the same way. We don't see this same issue. If it was across the board, if it was all young people, no matter what their gender or sex or race or religion, if then we could look at that more seriously. There's something else going on here. What you said probably does play a part for some of them, but there's something else and there's something more going on here.
Okay.
Let's see. Fuggy boot. No, I don't really know what this means, but Fuggy bootnoling. With another super chat. This is for Jeff. Your channel used to be TYT Nation. Spill the tea, dude. And what do you think of them now? Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot of tea to spill there. They said they came to me and said, "Hey, can you change your name for your channel? We want to take that name back. Your channel is, still your channel."
Did you work for you worked for TYT when you were on that channel?
No, it was a network partner.
Okay.
Network partner. So it was the same thing that Mike was doing. And so they just asked me, like, you don't have to, but we would like the name back, please. And we'll let you come on the main show. Right. And guest, we'll even let you come up to LA. This was before COVID, obviously. And so I was like, oh, all right, sure. And then COVID hit, and he's like, well, yeah, can't really come up to LA now, but still we'll have you on the main show, and that's it. And I talked to Steve-O or when he was still working there, and I was like, okay, I'll change it to Waldorf Nation. And then I didn't really like that too much, so I decided to change to Logical Leftist, because that's what I am. I'm a lefty that uses logic, so it kind of fit a little bit better and it sounds better, and I thought that it would help out with the channel. As far as what I think of them now, I don't really think of them very often, honestly. I don't like some of the takes that are coming out. I think their takes on Gaza are pretty good. Okay, and we talked about that earlier. But I don't agree with the trans takes. I don't agree with the sports stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I disagree. Their focus on crime, their focus on homelessness, doing the stories about like the Venezuelan, gangs taking over. I was very critical about that stuff. I don't watch that show. I really don't watch like a lot of other shows. I do tune in and watch some Leftist Mafia once in a while. So there's that.
Nice.
And some of y'all's videos and all that. But it's just I don't watch TYT anymore. And
Same.
that was I stopped doing that a while back. And they're just it's not really my thing anymore. I haven't even moved further to the left. It just feels like they have, reached out to do more of the enlightened centrist arc, and that's just not what I'm interested in.
I do think it's interesting that TYT doesn't like it when you, for example, use a phrase like birthing person to describe someone's identity, but they had no problem forcing you to change your channel's identity.
Right. They just asked me, and so
Very interesting. I guess what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander.
Again, it's just like I have differences of opinions with a couple of the hosts, and that's it. And like I try not to be personal about it. Like, all right, we have a difference of opinion. I'm going to air that difference of opinion. I'm going to say that I think that you are incorrect about this, and I have done videos pointing that out where I'm like, you are not correct about this. All right, I did some research, and I think you're wrong. And this is what this is what I came up with. That's it. And here are the facts. Right? Here's the facts as I see them. So that's it. And that's what I try to do. So that's it's nothing. Again, nothing personal against anyone there. I just have some things that I disagree with them on, and I don't watch it anymore as a result of those disagreements.
Clip it, chat. Jeff Waldorf, quote, done with TYT. I don't watch them anymore. Jeff Waldorf destroys TYT.
Oh, boy.
Spills the tea.
There's gonna be like a YouTube clip of this.
Oh,
Jeff Waldorf explains how TYT forced him to change his gender identity.
TYT hypocrisy exposed.
I'm no longer
say birthing person.
No longer able to have my gender identity. I can no longer call myself a birthing person. So I'm pretty upset about that.
All right, let's go to Chris with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Chris. I think this is the same Chris as before who sent that other membership chat.
Chris
Thank
has
you
been
so much.
sending a lot of super chats, so shout out to Chris.
Chris, good guy. My high school male geometry teacher wore a dress one day to class to explain the difference between a postulate and a theorem. North Carolina, 2006. No one cared. I don't know enough about a postulate or a theorem to know why him coming to class wearing a dress would be relevant, but I'm sure it was a good point. Do you guys understand? Geometry was never my strong point.
No fucking idea. There's a reason why I went into social sciences and not math or natural sciences.
Right. Exposed. Chris's high school geometry teacher in 2006 wore a dress in front of his students.
No.
Has education gone too far?
Grooming kids? Question mark.
Fox News exclusive.
What? Chris's male geometry teacher exposed his postulate and theorem to the to the class.
Oh, jeez.
Let's go to Kowalski with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Kowalski. Wow, clearly Binder thought Trump was going to win last fall and is banking on getting that one-time payment of $5,000 from the government for having a child. Also, cost of living in Nebraska is 1/4 of NYC, just so you know. I mean, honestly, that sounds like too much, that Nebraska is just 1/4 of NYC. I would hope it'd be like 1/16, honestly. But yes, that's why we decided to have a kid. We knew Trump would win, and we knew he would provide us with that sweet $5,000 one-time payment of $5,000. We did the math, and we were like, "Yep, that'll cover a child for 18 years," and we went for it.
Revealed why Binder voted for Donald Trump. Exclusive.
Right. Payment for vote? Was Matt Binder bought by Donald Trump? Binder sells out.
Fourth on the way soon? Question mark.
Tracy Eva, thank you so much for becoming a supporter at youtube.com/MattBinder. Also, we got Tony Tustix with the $5 super chat. Opus Dei has a lot to do with the Christo-fascist Zionist movement. Pope Leo just slapped them down a peg. Spain had an Opus Dei, is it Dei or DI priest caught in.
I think Day, because I said it wrong. I said DEI last time, and the chat corrected me and
DEI.
said that's how rotten my brain is.
That's the right wing's DEI, Opus DEI. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see if I could pronounce this. I'm gonna try my best because I want to pronounce people's names how they're supposed to be pronounced. So if I pronounce it wrong, let me know and I'll fix it. Tejaswi Raghurama.
Again.
What?
This person
Did I
keeps
do it
fed
right?
posting.
Don't you all think Zionists and all Israeli government employees are culpable, are Nazis, and deserve everything that comes for them? Why are you condemning violence against them? Nazis. Listen, I think there is a huge difference between the Nazis in power, like Nazi soldiers, and, Adolf Hitler's, commanders and all those guys. And like a person who is Sig Heiling to Hitler, who just lived in Nazi Germany.
This person just needs to know the difference between non-combatants and enemy combatants. Like, it's a basic distinction.
Yes. Do I think these people were good people? I don't know them. I mean, based on what their politics are, I probably would not think they were good people. Do I think they deserve what happened to them? No, I don't think so either. I mean, I'm also not like, I don't think this is some huge deal. I mean, a loss of life is a big deal. I don't think this is any more of a huge deal than anyone losing their life. So yes, I think there is a difference, and I don't think that some low-level staffer at an embassy, you would need to know what they were doing at this embassy for them to move from just a person, living in Nazi Germany, Sig Heiling to Hitler, to them being in someone in power. There are just too many low-level nobodies who work at embassies. Think about how many embassies there are. Think about how many embassies there are for each country just in the United States. I mean, this is not, it's just not, I just don't, again, I'm not saying like I'm losing sleep over this, but at the same time, I don't think it was right.
I feel like this person is just straight up, they're a conservative. They're trying to get a clip. They're trying to get you to say something fucked up so they can post it on Twitter. See how deranged they are?
Right. I think these two people dying is just as sad as, someone in Brooklyn getting hit by a car and dying right now. Both are sad. Both should not have happened. Neither deserve to have their life taken at that moment in time. That simple.
They're gonna ask
and honestly, like this guy too. Like you're gonna pull that shit off and like do it to just two literal, like they're randoms. They're randoms. I'm sorry. It's just lame. Like just like friggin' it's just stupid.
You're literally giving ammunition to Zionists who are trying to make it, they're trying to portray themselves as the victim, and you're giving them that. You're giving the government a justification to crack down. But I mean, this person asks a fourth question about this same shit. Another super chat coming up. Just FYI.
But PJ in the chat says, was it anti-Semitic though? They also follow up saying that they don't think so. I agree. It was not anti-Semitic. These people were not targeted because they were Jewish. They were targeted, first of all, as far as I've heard, one of them was a Christian Zionist. Doesn't make it any different in terms of their life, but in terms of like they being an anti-Semitic attack. But also, even if they were a Jewish person, it's not they weren't targeted for being Jewish. This person targeted them for their connection to their to the Israeli government as being employees at the embassy. The conflation between Israel and Jewish people needs to stop. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Yes. It's literally an incitement, like, of hatred against Jewish people to say that, like, Zionism is the same as Judaism. Like, that is dangerous as fuck.
Yeah. Archangel with a $20 super chat. Matt, how can we have any hope for a future when the big, beautiful bill fucks us? And now the leaked HHS for year 26 budget shows a brutal slash of many programs to help people. How do people not see the GOP hates Americans? I mean, because they believe what they say. It's that simple. Also, if a bill is going to fuck us, I'm glad it's called the big beautiful one.
Well, there
Would
you
it
go.
really suck to get fucked by the little ugly bill?
I'm glad they're giving it a memorable name, so that way, hopefully, Americans don't forget about this. And it's supposed to go. So the Medicaid cuts go into effect in 2026 instead of 2029 now. So this will be felt during Trump's
Immediate.
tenure as president. Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, but I did a segment earlier today how this could cut Medicare as well.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yep.
a $500 billion over the next 10 years cut into Medicare, which of course will have numerous impacts, raising the cost, or I should say, it'll raise the out-of-pocket costs for people who are trying to get medication. Also could shut down rural hospitals as well. And that's the other effect of the Medicaid cuts as well. So you could have a lot of providers no longer accepting both Medicare and Medicaid, which of course would make it a little bit easier for Republicans to privatize it. And I think that's the overall goal here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next super chat. Joshua Keller as L7 saying the masses are asses. Here's a Tejazwi Raghurama again. If you think Zionists are capable or culpable in genocide, willing Nazis deserve what comes for them, why does it matter whether they have power? If you were in Nazi Germany, you would only go after Hitler, no one else. I mean, if I was in Nazi Germany, if I was a Jewish person in Nazi Germany, what would have, obviously if a random Nazi German, like a random person living in Nazi Germany who was a German, was coming after me, then that's different. That's someone that'd be the equivalent to being accosted on the street and defending yourself. But I also am not saying just go after Hitler. I'm saying there are a number of people in power who are directly culpable for this. I don't
even think this person cares. I think this is actually a right winger. This person
probably
asked a
is,
couple
but
of
I'm gonna
weeks
answer
ago.
it because I can't.
I remember
No,
he sent like $100 super chat saying like, I think this is, I don't know if it's the same person, but saying like, oh, so I could, you'll take $100. Like it was like one of those, oh, some socialist should take $100 super chat or some shit. It was one of the, if I'm thinking of the right person. So I'm pretty sure this person is a troll.
No, but it's fine because I could
fed.
easily handle this. So it's totally fine. This is an even better way to explain this. And this might blow this person's mind that I believe this, but it's consistent with what I've been saying. I think if you voted for Donald Trump, you obviously played some role in this. But if you were just some person who on election day went out there and voted for Trump and then went about your regular job, I don't think you are responsible to the point where someone would claim that could claim that you specifically are the cause of whatever pain they feel, or that you're the blood is on your hands for Donald Trump. I don't think so. You would need to be someone powerful like Elon Musk, or someone powerful in media who supported him like a Ben Shapiro. You would need to be someone who works directly within Donald Trump's orbit, like his cabinet, like J.D. Vance, like Donald Trump himself, to be held directly culpable for these things. I do not think any of the, however, tens of millions of people observe any sort of targeted attack or pain or whatever their way due to their vote, because that's just how it works. You can't blame the vast majority of powerless people for something that they are not really, they have really no power to stop or start. It's just, it is what it is. I do not blame any individual regular Trump supporter with no power for all this. Do they play a small role? Sure. A role that places a responsibility on them? I don't think so. I don't know if you guys agree.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, I feel like that's common sense.
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense.
If you're a leftist, at least, right? Like, that should be obvious. This person is just, they're full of shit. They're trying to bait us.
But
so.
I pride myself in being able to handle all comers, no matter what they're, where they're coming from, whether they are ideologically left, right, somewhere in between, doesn't matter to me. Whether they got a name I could pronounce or not, it doesn't matter to me. Rachel, and I do want to know how to pronounce your name for real if I mispronounced it, so feel free to correct me. Rachel Atwood with a super chat. Israel sent in trucks with body bags but no food. Ugh. John Jeffrey with a super chat. Congrats to Maddie the Daddy, aka Big Daddy Binder. Thank you so much, John. Rachel Atwood with a super chat. Louis Theroux's documentary inspired the UK to act. I've not seen it completely yet, but I've seen clips, and it seems like it was very powerful. Yes.
Where can you watch this at? Because I saw clips of this too. I'd like to see the whole thing. I don't know if it's available or whatnot, but yeah.
And then we got let's see. Guamu with a super chat. Are we losing the fabulous Mike Matt combo because of false flag allegations? Woo, that's the drama the leftist mafia needs. What? I missed something.
I think when somebody in the chat said that I was implying that the shooting was a false flag, which I was not, maybe that's what they were referring to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that documentary is available on his channel for free, on his YouTube channel, somebody's saying, Daza. That's good to know. I'll check that out. I'd love to watch that.
Let's go to... Wait, where is it playing in? What did you say?
Oh, it's on his YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know this. Thanks for the tip.
Oh my God, my YouTube is freezing. I'm sorry. I hate when it does this. I don't know why. I have a fairly good computer too. I don't know why it has so much trouble with YouTube.
I think it's more
chat.
YouTube than your computer, probably. Yeah, just a lot to handle. I have some as well if you want me to read them really quick.
Oh, I'm good. I'm back.
Okay.
But yes, we'll get to yours too.
Okay.
Riddle Ekvi with a super chat. I emailed the song again, so it'll be at the top. Can you guys hear it and let me know? Thanks. Left is best. Oh, right. I totally forgot. I'm sorry. Yes, let me send it to everybody else too. R Kites with a super chat. Hey, new follower from Mexico. How do you see President Sheinbaum and Mexico-U.S. relations now? Feels tense, especially with Ronald Johnson as ambassador.
I love Sheinbaum.
Yeah. I think Sheinbaum is doing a good job. From what I know. Obviously, I don't follow as closely as I follow U.S. politics, but from what I've heard, has been good. I mean, and she's liked in Mexico too. Yeah. U.S. relations with Mexico are going to be tough no matter who's in office. I'm glad she's the one who's there, and it seems like she's someone who's willing to stand up to Trump, which is 100% what we and they need.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrie Shaw with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Carrie. Do you have an Amazon baby registry that we can access? Oh, that's so kind of you to ask. I will talk to my wife and see if she has one that she wants me to share. I really appreciate that. Miles Strickler with the super chat. $10 super chat. Thank you, Miles. Speaking of bands, Fit for an Autopsy has a song against the genocide in Gaza. It's called Red Horizon, and it's so cathartic to hear a metal vocalist scream from the river to the sea at the end. Ooh, I gotta hear this. Amateur Own with a super chat. Congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. Tracy Eva with a super sticker. Thank you so much. Miles Strickler with another super chat. Bad number, go away. LOL. Oh, everyone sent it because that was great. Thank you so much. Riddlor again with a super chat. I sent the song. Can you lay it? It's a little bit late to play it now. Let me get it to everybody else and we'll play it next week. How does that sound? Does that sound good, Mike?
Sounds good.
DJ, do you want us to listen to it for the first time too on air so we could be like, oh my God, this is amazing? Or worst case scenario, we hear it and we're like, what? I haven't listened to it yet. DJ Monotonous with a super chat. You're comparing Zionists to Nazis. Please stop. I mean, I wasn't. I mean, the individual who messaged me made that analogy, so I was dealing with that analogy within. I mean, I actually don't think that Zionists are.
I'd say that they're fascists, but I'd say the IDF is more akin to Nazis.
Yes.
Specifically the IDF.
I don't think regular Zionists are the equivalent to Nazis. I mean, I do think there are certain hardcore Zionists that probably applicable to, but not a person who just thinks Israel should exist. I mean, Israel exists. We got to deal with the reality. Rachel Atwood with a super chat. Should MAGA voters stub their toes? I mean, I don't wish it on them, but if they stubbed their toe, I wouldn't be like, oh no.
Did you miss one from
All right,
Bay
that's
Photo,
it for me, I think.
Do
What's
you have
up?
one? I swear there's one from Bay Photo for you. I think this one is for you. I'm not sure if you missed it. At least it's addressed to you.
It's not for me, I don't think, but Bay Photo with a super chat. Thank you for doing your part to protect birth rates. In all seriousness, congratulations. And it's okay to take a paternity leave longer than 24 hours, LOL. Oh, I'm taking a paternity leave from my full-time job. But if I'm home, I could pop on a stream for 2 hours. That's not the end of the world.
Okay, I just got a couple more that came in while you were reading yours. I have one from Autistic Goblin who says, another A-full here. I have the entire botanical collection. I love the art. That's amazing. Yeah, the art is great. The botanical collection is absolutely fucking stunning. For those who don't know, I've explained this before, but A-full stands for Adult Fan of Lego. I'm pleased to see so many A-fulls in the chat. That's really cool. Yeah, the botanical collection is just incredible. For those who don't know, there's Legos that look like flowers now. They have a bouquet of roses. They have little potted plants. They have a bunch, and they look so beautiful. It is, and they're very fun to build, very cathartic. Let's see here. Unknown says back to Larry. Nah, I'm kidding. I'll look up Larry now. I don't think I've seen Larry. Panic says, thank you for the 20, by the way, Panic. Very kind of you, and I love the Shrek avatar. At least I think that's Shrek. Please don't stop fighting the good fight, fellas. When things are at their darkest, it's not when you give up, but when you fight harder than ever before. Thank you. I appreciate the words of encouragement. Unknown says, oh no, I read this one. I'm sorry. Chris says, a long-haired David looks like episode 2 Obi-Wan. A little bit. Stephanie, thanks so much for the super sticker. Very kind. It's just a heart emoji. Thank you so much. Very sweet. And last but not least, Bat Guy says you guys should have Legion Miller on something. That'd be amazing. I love Legion Miller. I would love to have her on. I don't know if we're mutuals, so yeah, we'll have to make that happen because she'd be a great guest for sure. Big fan of hers. But that's it. I'm not sure if there's anything on Twitch that you want to read, Matt.
Let's see. Lux Progressive, thank you so much for the raid earlier. And Corietti, subscribe for 1 month at tier 1. Thank you so much, Corietti. And folks, don't forget, if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription every single month. If you don't use it, you basically let Amazon keep your money. Like they basically say, oh, you just paid us for the Amazon Prime subscription. We will give a couple bucks from that price you paid us to your favorite creator every single month. And if you don't, we're keeping that extra little bit of money. So don't let
right into Bezos' pocket.
Yeah, don't let Bezos take those extra bucks. Whether you want to give it to Mike Figueredo or Jeff Waldorf or to Matt Binder, or you can even trade it out every month. Switch to someone new. Just make sure you use it every single month. And I should note that they're tricky this way. When you use your free Twitch Prime subscription, they don't auto renew it. You have to manually give it to a new creator every month. Otherwise, after that month is over and you don't give it to someone else or the same person again the following month, you lose it. So
some tricksy bullshit there.
Tricky, right?
Yep.
Oh, got one last super chat that came in from Pierce. Thank you for the $10, Pierce. Says the Democrats would never ever allow a progressive to become the nominee. AOC unfortunately won't be the nominee. We will get a Gavin Newsom for 2028, which is my prediction. I don't know. I think Gavin might be cooked, but I don't think you're wrong about it being some corporate douche. My guess is Pete Buttigieg.
That's my guess too.
Yeah, which
they're really going to be pushing for male Pete.
Yeah, which I will fight him tooth and nail. But yeah, if somebody like Tim Walz or AOC can get it, that'd be great. But I'm not going to hold my breath. It's the Democratic Party, and they are not going to let that happen, as you said, Pierce. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, assuming we have a free and fair election. But thanks for the super chat. Okay, do we want to raid Connor on Twitch?
Yeah, you want to raid
Yeah, Conyer CC, CON.
Yep, I know who.
Okay.
I know who Conyer
I always
is.
fuck up the spelling of Connor, or Conyer, excuse me.
It's Conyer, yeah.
I know, I that's why I spelled it, just in case you were as bad as I am, but apparently not.
Hold on, let me I'm pressing that start raid button. All right, folks. Thank you so much for all the kind words. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much to Jeff for joining us as guest. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
And you stayed all the way through Super Chats. That never happens.
Oh, yeah. No, thank you for the invite.
That's a hardcore
Yeah.
guest. That's the real guest right there.
Yeah.
I like to stay to the end.
Ride or die.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
3.5 hours Jeff has stuck it out with us. That's amazing.
I do that.
That's amazing.
All right, I'm hitting that raid button. You ready, Mike?
Let's do it. All right, folks.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Take care.